Hey, what's cracking, Beam? What's going on? Want to just chill out here for a little while, talk some crypto with everybody. By the way, let me just fix my Stream Ninja. Yeah, it was picking up the wrong YouTube chat, but it's good now. Yeah, just want to hang out for a while. We haven't really done a crypto stream in a while. So that's what I figured we'd do. We'd just kick back for a while. I found a little video I wanted to look at. My best mini miner, most powerful Bitcoin miner. We could check that out. But I mean, I'm down. I'm down for whatever's, you know. Can hang out and just, you know, shoot the shit. If there's been some major crypto news that I need to know about, maybe this could be the place to discuss it. It's an open slather. It's an open house. At some point, I will have some of my remaining bounty rum. I don't have a lot left, but, you know. Oh, and also a little heads up. Tomorrow, 7 years. Tracer have been gone for 7 years. As we do every year, we're going to do a little stream ski. We're going to do a little reconnaissance. No, that's the wrong word. We're going to do a little look back, a little historical. Well, basically, it's a chance to drink a bottle of Jack. Not a bottle, not a whole bottle. Don't be stupid. But I will be getting a fresh bottle of Jack. And it's a chance to remember the music, remember the good times. And I've got to tell you two things. The first thing is, it's going to be very Lee McGreen centered. For those that don't know who he is, I'll introduce who he is on the stream. But for those that know, they will know. And yeah, the other thing is, it's not going to be on YouTube. I'm sitting on a strike right now on YouTube. It's only a warning strike, but it doesn't expire until April. And so if I was to do a stream that included any copyrighted material such as Tracer music, it would definitely give me a real strike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the stream on YouTube, and then I'm going to tell everybody that's watching to come on over to any of the other platforms, and we'll continue the stream elsewhere. And then I will upload the VOD to YouTube, because what we've discovered, you can upload the exact same content as a video and you don't get a strike, you just get the blocked worldwide until you remove the content. So that's a bit weird, right? Like, so if I stream content on YouTube, I can get a ding to my channel. Like if I was to stream El Pistolero album from Tracer, I would get a copyright ding. Now that might not be a ding though. That might just be this stream. No. If it's live and you keep getting these notices and you do nothing, you get a strike on your channel. But if I took the exact same VOD from the stream when it's finished and uploaded it to YouTube as a video, it would just come up with, this video contains copyrighted material, it's blocked in these territories, or you can edit it out. So that's what I plan on doing. By the way, is my YouTube chat working? There's I see 13 viewers. Can I get a little chat action, just a little testy test? Chat test. We'll just test that. Yes, that test is working. And let me do a little testy test over here on the kick machine. Hey, there's a chat there from lame. Lame. You know what's going on? It's all working. It's only working on one chat. That's cool. Yeah. We could talk, if just to back up, to go back to crypto. If anybody has any discussion points that they want to discuss, we could talk about the BitBoy situation. BitBoy's having a shocker, right? He's having a rough time right now. Maybe we could talk about that if anybody wants to talk about that. I just moved something around a little. Or we could talk about we could have a call in, you know. That's what I like. We could do call-ins if anybody wants to call in. Or we could just get drunk. It's got such a good smell. Actually, I want to, while we're here, someone mentioned that people got sick drinking this. Let me just bring up a YouTube machine. People getting ill on Bounty rum. Fiji. Oh, there's my video. 7 tourists hospitalized in Fiji, suspected alcohol poisoning. Okay.
7 tourists, including 4 Australians, are in hospital in Fiji over suspected alcohol poisoning. The group was drinking cocktails at a 5-star hotel before they fell ill. Fiji's health ministry
been there.
Says the guests experienced nausea, vomiting and neurological symptoms. Some of those in hospital are believed to be in a critical condition. Local police are investigating. The Australian government has updated its advice on the Smart Traveller website, saying be alert to the potential risks around drink spiking and methanol poisoning through consuming alcoholic drinks. Get urgent medical help if you suspect drink spiking.
Well, that's
7 tourists, including...
Shush. That's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, does it tell you that they drank Bounty rum? Only drink out of the bottle if you open the cap. This is what happens when people ask you what's your poison. I mean, literally. Alcohol poisoning? You mean poison drinks. Yeah, that's more accurate. I mean, it could be something to be said about how extremely potent this is. It's 58%, so this will knock your head off. Maybe they just didn't know what they were drinking. I don't know. Botrix has correctly joined the channel. Botrix. So, hey, Comtech, how you doing, Givers? Hello, Gives and Givers. How are you, Comtech? Comtech, I know you love your crypto. I'm just doing an open crypto stream. We can talk about anything in the crypto world. I feel like we haven't done much crypto lately, and used to be like a Wednesday thing. It's not Wednesday right now, but and I got distracted by Bounty rum, but I'd just open it up. You know what I could do? I could have a look at my HTX, htx.com. Sign in. Just give me a second here to sign into HTX, because that we got a little token incentive from DLive. How about Doge? You want to look into Doge? We could do that. We got a little streamer incentive token here from DLive to the value of $7.61. So I've got that earning me a little bit of APR in this earn protocol here on the HTX exchange. So current holdings, Ape NFT token, 17 mil of them. I'm earning 5% APY. Yesterday's earnings, 2,364 tokens. Cumulative earnings, 47,229. And that's just, I guess that's $7 worth. About $7.60. That's directly from this DLive program. DLive are offering streamers and viewers an incentive to come onto the platform. Click a button every day. In 3 hours, I got to click this button, and you earn some streamers. You earn some streamers. You earn some Ape NFT. Here is the history of how much I've earned. The rewards have gone down. This one here just doesn't say the amount, but it was double that. And then it went to 57 million, 19 million, and then the most recent was 17 million. This was about 120 million. I don't know why the number's not there, but yeah. It's pretty cool. You just press a button and bam. Netskis, how you doing, man? Beware of the yellow-eyed penguins. Beware of the yellow-eyed penguins. Is that a D-Live thing? Yellow-eyed penguins. Yellow-eyed penguins. What is the yellow-eyed penguins? Yellow-eyed penguin? Only for partners? Streamer incentive? I don't think it is just for partners. Oops, my bad. My bad. It's only for partners. It's been going since May last year. Streamer incentive plan aims to encourage streamers to create high-quality content with best practices through engaging quests. Please note, this program is only available to D-Live's affiliate and partner streamers. My bad. I don't think too much of it. You because of that factor? Yeah, that's fair enough, dude. That's fair enough. Here is a yellow-eyed penguin, though. Also known as a hoiho? Hoiho. Hoiho. Now that's a name. Species of penguin endemic to New Zealand. Nice one. They're in the species genus Megaditis. Oh, we have to. Doo-doo. DD Megadoo-doo. We have to.
To say their final goodbyes to this fallen Louisville police officer, DD Megadoo-doo. I'm sorry, Mangudu. To say their final goodbyes to this fallen Louisville police officer, DD Megadoo-doo.
They're in the species genus Megadiptus. DD Megadiptus. So what, you've seen these recently, Netskis? Because you're over there in the New Zealand machine. Comtech, since the HTX wallet is not allowed in the USA, I can only sit back and watch. You can't, is that right? You can't, yeah. Now, what about Trump, right? Didn't Trump bring crypto back to the States? That's going to change, surely. Well, what can you, hang on a second. So you can't even, yeah, you can't even earn the HTX, the Ape NFT rewards, because it has to go to the HTX wallet. Shit, man. I mean, that's got to change pretty damn soon, surely. He said, Trump said he'd change that, right? He definitely said he'd change that. The keyword was yellow, jokes. The yellow penguin made of pee. Is that what you're saying? Or you're saying yellow for D-Live? We're screwed. Yeah. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, he's making this a step towards fixing that. What I thought anyway. Yo, Aaron, how you doing, man? Aaron Vendetta. Aaron Vendetta. Shit, that's harsh. Over on the Beam machine, which now is all working perfectly. I spend my 20s on you. You spend your 20s on me. 20s, as in the age group, or $20? Some wallets are not allowed in the States. Is I wonder if that'll change in time. V for Vendetta. Yes, that's a film, right? Netskis, D-Live hated me pointing out that in DC about how 33 countries were excluded. Oh, you mentioned that in the Discord. Right. Yeah, that seems like a big oof. If they want to incentivize streamers to come and stream by giving this drip feed of this token, but they're only allowing it to certain wallets, doesn't seem very fair. And it rules out a huge population. Like, what about if Turkey was banned? It's a goated film. I love V for Vendetta. That's a Vin Diesel thing, right? I don't think I've seen it. V for Vendetta. I don't think I've seen it. It's by the same dudes that did The Matrix. It's a directorial debut from James McTeague. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. Hugo Weaving, cool. I'm just reading it. It's like super quick. Yeah, I've not seen it. Some political groups have seen V for Vendetta as an allegory to oppression by government. Anarchists have used it to promote their beliefs. The film is credited for popularizing the use of the Guy Fawkes mask. So that's the guys that do the Anonymous. Yeah, right. So that's so you're in that sphere, Aaron. You're in that sphere of Anonymous. The plot in the near. Oh, we won't read the plot. But okay, I might watch it. It's about fighting against the government, like modern day Robin Hood, but it's hacker types. I mean, I probably should watch it, right? Probably should watch it. I'll get a screenshot. I'm going through, and on the IMDb top 250 movies of all time, I'm going through that and watching all of them. Not in one go, obviously, but I'm going through the top 250. Is that in there? IMDb top 250. The top 250 movies. Is V for Vendetta in there? Can I just search? You can't search through the list? Get out of here. I guess I'll just make sure that they're all, and I'll just search for, we'll search for dogs because we know Reservoir. Okay, so dogs comes up. I'll just search for V for, it is 169. Dale, if Dale's watching. So I'll get to that. At some point. It's 169. V for Vendetta. Okay, cool. It's in my list. It's in my queue of things to watch. Now, Comtech, you mentioned Doge before. Did you mean you wanted to talk about Doge the coin or Doge the government, the Department of Government Efficiency? While we're here, though, let me just check my Doge stack. I did have a little Doge. I think I got Doge in 2 places. You want to talk about the coin? Okay. Well, okay. In that case, let's get off the Brave Trouser browser and get to the coin market cap. Let's talk about Doji. Let's see. What's it running at? It's up at the moment. On the daily, it's up 6%. Oh, it's okay. Well, okay, cool. Ooh, wow. V for Vendetta is a cool movie. Netsky's, I'll get to it. So the chart, the 7-day, the monthly chart's down. Okay, the 7 daily and the 1 daily chart is looking good. So is this pamping right now because of Elon? Community sentiment 86 bullish and 14 bearish. That's cool. So the community is like, yeah, this is good. So what's been happening? What's been happening with Doji? Let's do a little search on the tubes. I'll just type up Dodge. It's hard now to search for that because it all comes up with the Department of Government Efficiency. I guess you got to put crypto, right? There's a live stream there from Mohammed Tijini with 67,000 viewers. Crikey. One day ago, Doge could be short-term headwind for Bitcoin, says Miller Value Partner Bill Miller, the 4th. Let's take a look.
Why the cool down, do you think, of late in Bitcoin? 96, little over 96 is where it currently stands, 96K.
Well, it's tough to call every 10% twist and turn in a new technology like this, Scott. But it seems to me like traders and people that are more focused on short-term outlooks may be looking at Doge and saying, well, they may be actually eliminating some of this profligate government spending, which is bad for something that effectively will be the check and balance on that. But when you actually dig into the math on Doge, I think reality is eventually going to get in the way here. And that if you just look at the U.S. aid situation, right, 60 billion, let's say all of that goes away. Well, that's only 1/30th of the deficit. So you got to do that 29 more times, and they're not going to be able to cut all of that. And then when you actually look into what can be cut, there's a real...
Netsky's White House press secretary gives warning to judges that block the Department of Government Efficiency. Right. Just a video headline in my inbox. I haven't watched it. Okay.
Limit to it. So I think in the short term, Bitcoin is bumping up against some of that outlook perspective, but in the long term, it's inevitable.
I see a bunch of headlines regarding tariffs and Bitcoin, asking the question, should you stay away from crypto because of tariffs? What do you make of
What, tariffs? Tariffs on Bitcoin? No.
that? And is that any of the reason for the recent weakness?
Well, tariffs at the end of the day are inflationary. It's hard for me, to say what every twist and turn means. But again, we look at it from a value investor's perspective. And so there's really two elements to the investment thesis here. One is the conceptual valuation framework. I mentioned before, it's probably the new monopoly, or will eventually get to that level as a check and balance against profligate government spending. And so gold has historically served that role. Bitcoin is going to serve that role in a much better way as it's automated, it's more transparent, it's transportable and more secure, and has a much more clear supply protocol. So from a conceptual valuation perspective, gold's valuation is 20 trillion. Bitcoin's at 2 trillion, so that would imply a fundamental intrinsic value of about $1 million of Bitcoin today. Then second, there's a game theory aspect to it, Scott, which is, at a 2 trillion market cap today, it's approaching 1% of the global basket for financial assets. And so if you don't own any Bitcoin today as an allocator, you're now effectively short the best performing asset for the better part of the past 2 decades. And then the other game theory way I think about it is...
That's pretty harsh words. That's like, if you're not buying this, you're a dum-dum. Did you hear what he just said?
Bitcoin today as an... at a 2 trillion market cap today, it's approaching 1% of the global basket for financial assets. And so if you don't own any Bitcoin today as an allocator, you're now effectively short the best performing asset for the better part of the past 2 decades. And then the other game theory way I think about it is the U.S. monetary policymakers have an explicit goal to devalue everything you own that's priced in dollars by 2 to 3% a year. So why wouldn't you take 2 to 3% of everything you own and stick it in a system entirely outside of the fiat system? And I think that's why a lot of companies are doing it. If you look at the global landscape today in public markets, a lot of companies are converging on a Bitcoin standard. There are now 70 companies.
Do you believe him? I mean, it's... Yes. Matter of factly, yes. I mean, historically, look at it. What more has it got to prove?
Publicly traded exchanges around the globe that hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Everyone knows Strategy and some of these other companies that are much larger, but we have things like Tesla out there holding Bitcoin. There's Mercado Libre. Alliance Resource Partners is a coal company. So there are people adopting Bitcoin treasury strategies more and more every single year. And as other companies see companies do this and outperform, they're going to want some Bitcoin. So,
all right,
there's only a certain number available.
So 2 to 3% maybe is worthwhile, you say. What jumps out to me, too, is the 0% that you have in
the only... just to cut in on him there, he's wrapping it up anyway. The only thing... I will say this. I listened to that Roger Ver book, Hijacking Bitcoin. I listened to that quite recently, about a week ago. And it's concerning... So coming from crypto, from, let's say, the Hex Richard Hart ecosystem, the immutable contract, code is code, can't be changed. It's running smart contract. Bitcoin isn't like that. Bitcoin, they call it the spaghetti code. It's been built on, it's been modified, it's been manipulated, it's been changed. He talks about it pretty pretty graphically in that book about how the Bitcoin code can be changed. If there's enough of a consensus with the core dev team, they can change it. So this narrative that this guy was talking about, how, you know, it's, you need to get in on this on the base level. There's only ever going to be 21 million of them. Not accurate, really. If enough of the core dev team decide to change it, they can change it. So I guess when you look at it like that, the concept of Bitcoin, the idea of it, and the way that the way that it's been delivered, certainly through the white paper and through everybody that talks about it, like these gentlemen and everybody else, they're almost talking about it like it's a lock-in, but it's not actually immutable. The Bitcoin code can be changed and has been changed. They've had to roll it back. So when you talk about it like that, it's like, I'm not just doing it to smoke Hex and Richard Hart, but when you have an immutable contract that cannot be changed and the code is already running and there's no reason for it to stop running, there's no way it can stop running, that seems like a bit more of a solid bet. Like, will they crush it to get in? Oh shit, to crush it to get in. Crush, you mean will they crush the price? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of a dum-dum. Like, I don't know. And what I know, you guys all know, because we've all learnt this together over the last 4 years, since 2019, I guess. Since Lino and DLive, I've learned this with you guys. So I'm still learning as we go. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is you should listen to Hijacking Bitcoin, the Roger Ver book. You should listen to it. Get it. It's a audio book. Get it. And it might make you sort of go, oh shit. It definitely made me go, oh shit. But crushing the price, no. So if more of these investment banking corporations buy, the price goes up. So when these yahoos buy, price goes north. It's when they sell, price goes down. So, I mean, the thing is, it's kind of hard to say, because if Bitcoin, look, 100,000 right now, roughly, right? 96, 97, whatever it is. Let's say you fast forward to this time next year. So early 2026. What is it now? 2025. Yeah, early 2026. Imagine Bitcoin was 500,000, right? Imagine the price of Bitcoin was 500K. It would be pretty difficult for people, myself included, not to sell a little, right? Because we've never seen something valued. Well, I never have. I mean, I've got a property, but it's not valued that high. But imagine there was this thing that we've all been able to accumulate. I got mine stacked. I got it through DLive by streaming. Stacked up a little stack of Satoshis. Keep stacking the Satoshis. Keep stacking them. Keep stacking them. Imagine that gets to 500K and you're like, well, shit me. Right there, I could sell a portion, and that's life-changing money. So people that have bought in and managed to get their stack together, if that did happen, which everybody's talking, I said 500K, but people are talking $1 million. Like, just try to like split the difference and call it 500K. That would be a lot of sell pressure. People will be like, yeah, I'm selling some of that, and then the price will drop. And so then you'll get this weird situation where you're like, dudes, stop selling, right? We need it to go up higher. But then you'll be like, well, how much higher do you want? Either way, what a fantastic time to be involved in this, to be around for this. You know, they call this, I've heard the cryptocurrency sort of like the picture of crypto, the overriding thing. They say it's the greatest redistribution of wealth the planet's ever seen. So the yahoos that have never had have a chance to have at the base level. Like, it's super exciting. Sell when you're happy with it. I mean, you sell. I mean, everyone's need is going to be different, right? Everyone's going to have a different level, a different base. But isn't it fantastic that we've all been through the ups and the downs, the chart? So I got in on 2019. 2019, would it be 22? Would it be 2020, right? Yeah, would it have been after a year? I got on D Live in 2019, and then a year after, once I'd streamed for about a year, I think that's when the idea of Lino failing, and here is your allocation of Lino that has been locked and now it's unlocked and you can do whatever you want with it. And that's when I was like, well, I don't have any faith in this Justin Sun guy. I'm getting out of the Tron ecosystem and going to get a little stack of Bitcoin and some Ethereum and some other stuff. I cannot. I gotta applaud D Live for that, because if I didn't earn that Lino, I don't know whether I would have jumped into crypto. I might still be at that point that I tell you I was in 2012, 2011, when there was the opportunity to buy Bitcoin, and both me and another person decided no. We did some searching and there was this talk about drugs and it was like, oh, that's pretty shady, man. And yeah, we both, and it doesn't matter, whatever, but I had that chance and I declined it. And then when it came around again in 2020, when this idea of, man, you've got a little bit of money here from D Live, you're going to go and spend it on killer pythons and Slurpees? No, you should do something good with it. Maybe this is your chance to get in at Bitcoin. And I'm so thankful I did. Like and then when I went to New Zealand and Bitcoin dropped down to like 20, I think it was 27, 28,000, I was like, shit, yeah, keep dropping. I was working. I was like, yeah, keep dropping. I'm buying, keep buying. We've been in for the ride for sure. I recall when I sold mine at 57, had to buy back at 59. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then it crashed in the butt. So now I just hold. I mean, when it crashes, it's that time when you see red, you need to be able to go, it won't always be red. You know, that's when you need to be able to say, well, shit, hey, this is cheap. This is the cheapest it's getting. Bam, buy it. Be convicted. No, have conviction. Have conviction. I did it in New Zealand. When I was in New Zealand and I was working, and I'd be honest, I worked a lot. I probably worked too much. I remember one shift there that I was so bitterly disappointed in my boss. There was one night when I needed the night off. And I told him, I said, I cannot work this night. They have night skiing on a Wednesday night. And I can't do it because the Hilltop Hoods were performing. And I was like, I'm not working that night. I'm hanging out with it. Like, these guys go back. I'm going to hang out with them and shoot the shit. And I'm not available. And he said, yeah, cool, no worries. And then I get my roster and I'm rostered on. And I'm like, I ring him up. Hey, Mal, I told you I can't work, man. And he's like, oh, you have to. There's no one else. I'm like, what? And he knew what I was doing that night. And I'm like, I can't. I won't be. I'm going to be drinking and partying. I can't. And he's like, you have to. He said, there's no one else. And I'm like, but what do you mean there's no one else? Like, we've got staff, man. Like, get us. Like, this is by the way, of the entire time I was in New Zealand, that was the only day I asked off. The only day. And he said yes, and then he said no. He reversed it, and he didn't tell me. There was a little app we used to use, some planning app or something, and you just get your roster through that. And I'm like, I'm looking at it going, he's got me on night skiing on Wednesday. What? It must be a mistake. So I called him. He's like, no, I had to put you down. I'm like, Mal, I cannot work that day. And he says, you have to. And I was like, all right. Fuck it, I'll work. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll work, but I'm doing my thing as well. So I'm partying with these guys and I'm photographing. And if I need to run the bus around as well, they can wait. And that was the only night when I was like, it's like, fuck, I don't care about the customers. I told him I couldn't work and he forced me to. And I was up there shooting photos and hanging out and eating. And I was like, no, I don't care. They can wait. I don't care. And I looked down at the shuttle bus area. People were lining up, but it was night skiing and it was all free. And I was like, whatever. But my point is, even those shifts and all that extra work and whatever, all that money or whatever I had left over at the end was DCAing into Bitcoin. I was doing it half Bitcoin and Hex. And Bitcoin was at 28,000, I think. 28,000. I was like, keep going down. I want to see 14,000, you know? Shit, yeah. Every time I looked at it, it was dropping. I was like, hell yeah. So the point of that was, if you can have conviction when it's looking dark out there, when it's red, if you can have the conviction of your belief and you can stick to your plan, that seems like the most logical way to do it. Because then, I mean, you tell me, when I was working and DCAing in New Zealand, you tell me that in the next year and a half you're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin, I'll be like, well, I'm so stoked that I did that when I did it, because now there's a greater value to that hard work. Like it was already hard work, it was already difficult, but now it's really worth it, you know? Yo, Dale, buy low, sell high, duh. Can I just remind you, Dale? I'll just remind you of a little conversation we had when I was buying that Bitcoin, when I did the D-Live Lino swap out and whatnot. I remember you were pretty against the idea of it. If I remember correctly, you weren't exactly in favor of it. You were like, don't buy Bitcoin. And I was like, I remember saying, I feel like this is the last chance I'll get to get in on the low, because I think I bought in at the 43, 44,000 mark, and then it dropped. And that's where I think we had the don't be the fool conversation, I think. Because I do remember, and I had my first feeling of, what have I done? Because I bought it and then I saw the price drop. And I was like, shit, you mean this thing can go down as well as up? I was like, oh, wow, this isn't feeling great. There goes, and then I remember Hendrik in the chat saying, I would never have bought that, you idiot. And I remember him saying, I'm never touching crypto. It's all a scam, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, shit, I feel really lame here. I just bought this shit and it dropped. Yeah, and then we saw big drops, big drops. Comtech, hindsight is always very clear. I had a lot of Doge and XRP and exchanged them for other cryptos back in 2021. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Hey, folks, I'm going to go and grab myself a coffee. I did go surfing today. It was fun. Here's a video. Yeah, sorry, Dale. You're right, man. You're right. You were the full comment was more about Hex for sure, for sure. Yeah, I was I wasn't remembering it wrong, but I wasn't recalling it exactly accurately. You're dead right. Text is not a very accurate way of communicating. Do you want to call in? Want to have a call in? We can. But you bought Bitcoin when I was in New Zealand. Yeah. Yeah, true. Why does no one talk about gold-backed crypto like Pax Gold? I don't know what Pax Gold is, dude. What the crikey is Pax Gold? Where are we? Pax Gold. What the hell is this? Pax Gold is a joke? Okay.
This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk about a crypto called Pax Gold or Pax G, which a lot of you have asked me about. I'm calling Pax G a joke in the sense that this car being pulled by a horse is a joke, and that's going to make a lot more sense after you watch this video. So the whole point of owning a bearer asset like gold, like Bitcoin, is to actually have possession of it. In the case of gold, you want to own physical gold and have possession of it. In the case of Bitcoin, you want to make sure you're holding your own private keys and you're not leaving your Bitcoin on an exchange. This is what a bearer asset is. It's something.
Yeah, no worries, Dale. Yeah, no worries. That's cool. Yeah, I forgot it was Valentine's yesterday.
That has zero counterparty risk.
Oh wait, it's Valentine's Day today for you guys. Hope this is not going to burst my bubble, Netskis. You like this? I mean, I'm learning about it.
and cannot be turned off by a third party. By contrast, if you own stocks or bonds, your brokerage account can be frozen. The issue...
By the way, after we do this, I want to talk about Pi. I want to talk about Pi crypto. We'll talk about that as well.
Of those, for example, the issue of the bonds can refuse to pay you interest, etc. So there's counterparty risk and there's account risk as well. But you don't have this if you hold physical gold or if you hold Bitcoin, for example, on a hardware wallet. This is one of the problems with gold ETFs like GLD. They are not true bearer assets. They have counterparty risk where you have to trust the custodian is actually holding the underlying physical gold, and you also have to trust your brokerage account not to freeze your account. I talk about this more in a video that I'll link to below called The Dangers of Gold ETFs. But today we want to talk about PAX-G, Pax Gold. This is a question that Harry asked. What do you think of PAX-G? Is it safe from government manipulation? PAX-G or Pax Gold is it's a crypto. It's an ERC20 token.
Digital token backed by physical gold. So it's like a stable coin, but it's pegged to the gold value. So digital, it's an ERC20, okay. Each token is backed by 1 fine troy ounce of 400-ounce London good delivery gold bar. Isn't gold always depreciating in value though? Gibbs, you should look at Goldbacks. Comptech, I got that. I got you, dude. Goldbacks. Let's get a tab out there. By the way, you guys can put links in the chat. That's a feature. Goldbacks. Goldnacks? No, Goldbacks. Okay, we got a tab there. Debunking myths about goldbacks, the perfect way to stockpile gold. We'll get there.
So it's built on the Ethereum network, and each of the tokens is backed by 1 fine troy ounce of
gold. Is at an all-time high, nearly $3,000 an ounce. I mean, look, as far as physical gold goes, do you literally have to carry around your gold with you? Like, I'm trying to declutter and like do everything on my phone. I don't want physical shit.
Gold, and the gold is held in Brinks vaults, Brinks bullion vaults.
You have gold, more silver though. Yeah, right, Dale. Yeah, okay.
This video helpful so far. Be sure to hit that subscribe.
So hang on. So you hold. He just said that it was held at a vault.
Gold, and the gold is held in Brinks vaults.
So you've got to give it to someone else. So you don't even get the gold, but you get a token. You get an NFT basically. You get an NFT saying I have the gold, or Brinks has the gold on my behalf. I don't know about this.
Brinks bullion vaults. If you're finding this video helpful so far, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. So what I'm going to contend in this video is that PAX-G, Pax Gold, is really the worst of both worlds. It's not a good way to hold gold, and it's not a good way to hold a crypto asset. So with PAX-G, you still have to trust the custodian like a gold ETF like GLD. You still need to hope that the custodian's insurance company will be able to make good on claims if the gold is lost, stolen, confiscated by the government. And this is exactly what you don't want to have to depend on. The real reason to own physical gold or Bitcoin is you think there's going to be a huge economic disruption, whether hyperinflation or a collapse of the banking system or a collapse of the financial system. And in this case, you don't want to have to rely on financial intermediaries like brokers.
For sure. You've got a custodial wallet basically at that point, but it's called a Brinks vault. Dale, just a quick question about gold. What's the speculative play with gold? Like, as far as I was aware, the gold standard, the dollar value backed or pegged to a gold standard we don't use that feature. That's not a thing anymore. So what is giving gold its value? Funny story, years ago I had a safe, lost the combination, had to have it broken into to get, wow, shit, man. That's real Ocean's 11 style. Who came to your house to do it?
Or insurance companies, because at the point that the financial system is coming, the wheels are coming off, you don't want to have to rely that the
Gold and silver are still useful. Okay, so the value of gold and silver is in their tangible uses in industry, not in terms of the dollar value, which it used to be. Okay, I gotcha. Netskis over on Beam. I've seen what I need to do. Get back to Bitcoin when the price is down and gold is up. You're thinking of getting out of gold. Is that what I'm hearing, Netskis? Jewelry is number one, of course. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Not something I would have. I don't know, like. Yeah, the physical item of gold and silver. I don't take this the wrong way, but it just seems like that's the olden days, man. We've got crypto now. It's digital, dude. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to, if I was gonna get interested in something, I probably wouldn't be. I don't know. Like walking the plank and treasure chests and rum and pirates and all that. Like, it just seems like that's, you know. I don't know. It feels to me like, I don't know. It just seems like old school. I know that's not a very good reason not to be interested in it, but that's how I look at it. That's how I feel when someone says you should get gold. I'm like, do you mean I should go and mine it? I should go and pan for gold in the river? Is that what? It seems like that's all the rage on TikTok. The tangible versus intangible asset debate. No. All I was bringing that up for is because I know that for a long while the currency system was pegged to the gold, but that stopped. I think in the 70s, the gold standard stopped. Don't knock pirates. Hey, me mateys, I'm a big pirate in terms of drinking the rum, but I don't want the gold. To diversify your portfolio is wise. Various assets. Look. I've got an investment property, so I've got a tangible asset and I've got crypto, so I have diversified. In that regard, I have. Yeah. By the way, let me ask you. Just so I've got an investment property. My tenant, she's been there a while now. She's quite a long-term. Well, seems like she's going to be a long-term tenant. She's been there 2 years now, I think. About 6 months ago, in the winter, probably a little longer than 6 months ago, she said to the real estate, can you approach the owner, me? Can you approach the owner and ask them if I can put an air conditioning unit in? Now, air conditioning units are hardwired in Australia anyway. You can get semi-permanent ones and you can get transportable ones, but she wanted to do a permanent install of a reverse cycle AC unit. And she said, what would the owner say to going Harvey's? And I said, well, on behalf of the real estate said, so I deal with the real estate as intermediary. I said, tell her I'm down for the Harveys as long as she's aware if she leaves, the air conditioning unit does not go with her. Let's be very clear about that. If we get a reverse cycle AC unit and we go halves in it, she walks away from that and it stays. And I want that in writing. And they said, yep. And so we got to, and I feel like, I don't know, I wanted to ask, do you think that's a good idea from a landlord to say yes to the tenant? I'll go halves in you with an air conditioning unit. In my mind, I was thinking, well, if she invests, and it's a couple of $1,000, right? Like, I think it was $1,800 in total. Let's call it $2,000, $1,000 each. So if she puts in $1,000 and then she's going to be getting a higher power bill because she's going to be using it all the time. It gets very warm in Adelaide, South Australia. But then when she leaves, I've now got a tenant. I've now got a house with an AC unit. Therefore, I can charge more rent, right? You know, air controlled, an air conditioned apartment, two bedroom apartment, or call it a townhouse, 2-bedroom townhouse with an AC. I can jack the price up for the rent, right? She can stay there as long as she wants because now she's got an air conditioning unit. It's easier for me not have to worry about new tenants and advertising and all that crap. But when she does the split, Hey, we've got a reverse cycle air conditioning unit there. Central AC, MD Witt would be a good person to discuss. She's in that field, is she? Gold is 5,364. Now it's... Oh, wow. So gold's gone up. Gold's on the PAMP? Okay, cool. She sells HVAC units. Okay. Last 15 years. Get it in the contract, 50 years, good deal. Yeah. Okay. I hadn't... Thank you, Dale. I hadn't... I'll be honest. At first, when this was brought up, I was like, hell no. If she wants an AC unit, she can buy it. Why would I buy to keep her comfy? No, she can buy it. And the real estate said, well, I didn't say that to her. I was talking to someone else, and they said, well, think about it, man. As long as it doesn't go with her, as long as she's very, very comfortable, very aware that she can't rip that thing out of the wall and take it, then you should go halves with her. And think about this. You'll keep her there longer because she'll be content. Yo, Dunsky, how you doing, man? Don't forget to claim tax depreciation on the AC unit. Oh, my tax... By the way, okay, so I got a tax bill. Dude, this year or last financial year, I got a tax bill, quite a substantial one. And then I got another one, another tax bill before Christmas. I was like, what are you talking about? I paid a tax bill out in Australia. Our financial year is end of June. Sorry, 1st of July through the end of June. I know Americans is the whole calendar year, January through to December end. Ours is the whole year, but it starts on July 1, ends on June 30 or 31, however many days in June. Anyway, so I got my tax bill at the end of that period, and then I got another one in December. And what it was, for some reason, my tax... So I did my own tax since I've come back from New Zealand. I haven't been to an accountant. I've done it myself. And it's pretty easy when you've got a regular job, right? There's not a lot goes into it. There's more involved when you're ABNing, and I haven't really used my ABN in a long while. So I figured it's going to be pretty straightforward. But somehow, and it could have been me, but somehow I got bumped onto a pay-as-you-go system. I can't remember the wording. And what that means is the tax bill I got in December is a forward-looking bill for income I haven't earned yet. And I rang them up and I said, hold on a second, what is this? This is a forward-looking bill. This is a prediction from now until the end of the next financial year. So midway through 2025, this is the prediction, and I've got to pay this now. So you're taxing me on money I don't actually physically have? How does that work? And she's like, yeah, you're on this you've been bumped to this new system. And I was like, bump me back. I'll pay the tax when I've got the money. I don't want to pay now. The idea is to earn the money first. You don't pay your bill at the restaurant before you get the food. You eat the food, then you pay. I was like, don't do that. And she said, unfortunately, you're on the system. And I'm like, and by the way, this is what really confused me. This really, really confused me. They sent the letter, so it was a physical letter. They addressed it to my photography business. And I was like, hold on a second. I haven't claimed any income, or I haven't reported any income to my photography business at least, definitely since I've been in New Zealand. I haven't done any paid photography work, so I haven't reported anything through that ABN on any of my tax returns because there hasn't been anything. Definitely, I know that for a fact. And I was like, why is this coming through on estimated income from my photography business? That doesn't seem right. Get this. She said, this is the tax agent, right? This is the tax department, the ATO. She said, oh, that's a mistake. I was like, what? That's a mistake? And she said, yeah, I can see how someone's done that. Instead of taking your name as your entity, they've taken the name of your business as your entity. I said, well, can you understand how that's really freaked me out? Because I do have that business, and I have, if you look at my records, I have reported income on that business because I've got the ABN. You can check. She says, yeah, I can see all that. And I'm like, so you sent me a letter to Photography by BJ Walk owing tax? I was like, the fuck are you talking about? How can I owe tax on something I haven't used? And she's like, yeah, we're really sorry about that. And I was like, it's Christmas. You scared the shit out of me. And now you want me to pay tax on money I haven't earned. She's like, yeah, well, so just cancel out the Photography by BJ Walk thing and we'll just put your name on it and we'll resend it. I was like, okay, that makes me feel a little better, but now I still owe this money on money I haven't earned. And she said, that's right. It's an estimate of what your earnings will be. I was like, fuck. Why don't you just slap me around at the same time, right? I was like, you guys, I was pretty frank with her. I was like, this is why people don't like the tax department. You fucking scared the shit out of me. You're taxing me on an income on a business I'm not using. And then you just go, oh, that was a mistake. Sorry, we'll change it. And then you say, oh, by the way, here's what we think you're going to earn. So pay it now. So what I did was, and this is good too. My tax accountant that I used to use before going to New Zealand, they sent me an email saying, hey, we saw you got a tax bill. I was like, you know what? I'll be honest. I stopped coming to you guys because I went to New Zealand to live and blah, blah, blah. And since I've been back, I've been doing it all myself. I said, I'm coming back to you guys. I'm coming back to you and you can sort this out. So I never want to get a Christmas tax bill again. Get me off whatever that pay as you go crap thing is. It was so frightening, I was like, and I'd got back from my trip from Uluru and, I hadn't worked for a while and I was down on the money and Marty and I had the fight and all that stuff. And then I get this tax bill for Photography by BJ Walk. And I was like, what the fuck? Why does the world keep slapping me across the face? Yeah, and so the reason I brought that up is because you guys were talking about making sure you get the depreciation and everything. So I've done all that, but this time around, I'm going to let the tax agent do it all. They try that crap over here. Sometimes gives lawsuits happen. It was pretty frightening. I'm not going to lie. I was looking at that and I was like, this is fucked. I was like, this is fucked. If I had have earned money through the photography business, I'd be like, okay, all right. But I haven't done any photography work like that. It's because of your investment property. I'm in that boat. It sucks. It's confusing. Yeah. It's called provisional tax. I'm not an accountant or a psychiatrist or a lawyer. Thank God we have Donald J. Trump now fixing all this insanity. I'm on the same tax. It's dog shit. Yo, who's that? Dogtown. How you doing? Dogton over on Kick. It's bullshit. It was just a slap around. Like I was like, and if I didn't ring them and go through like telephone tennis forever, right? Trying to get through to someone. And finally I do get to someone. I'm like, hey, can you, first of all, why am I being taxed on a business I'm not using, right? I didn't declare any income under that. In fact, it's very clear if you look at my tax return, 0 for the photography ABN. So
that's going to be weird.
Why am I getting taxed on that? I was like, and the way she answered it, she's just like, yeah, I can see how someone's made that mistake. I was like, oh, so someone at the tax office just chose the wrong entity? Is that how it's that easy just to make that mistake? Like, that doesn't seem like a slip up that should be able to be made. You shouldn't be able to just change someone's personal name to a business that they might have and then say you owe tax on that. Like, that seems like it was intentional in a weird way. I don't know why, because it wasn't, I mean, look, it wasn't a huge amount of money, but it was enough to be like, whoa, damn, what's going on with that? I like stories, but we were learning about Pax Gold and how it's a joke. Play.
On a custodian, on an insurance company, or on a broker. You also still need to hope that the government doesn't freeze Paxos or confiscate the Brinks Vault gold when you need it the most. This is what happened in 1933 when President Roosevelt signed Executive Order 6102, and basically confiscated all of Americans' gold apart from you were still allowed to hold small amounts of jewelry.
What the hell? Executive Order 6102, an executive order signed on April 5, 1933 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, forbidding the hoarding of gold. The hoarding of gold. So we had to hand it over? Damn, dude. You Americans. It's my God-given right to hoard gold. 30 viewers? What the crikey? 20 viewers on Kick? Hey, Kick, if those are real viewers... Well, most of you guys are chatting from Kick. I was going to say, can someone else that chat that's not one of you 20? What was that noise?
But this was confiscated. This gold was confiscated so that Roosevelt could devalue the dollar against gold. And this
Netsky, Pax Gold hasn't been a joke for me so far, but I'll be looking into it more. How long have you held Pax Gold for, Netskys? FDR was a far leftist, typical a-hole. Right, okay. Just saying.
is how the gold eventually ended up in Fort Knox, if it's actually still there. So this is why the only way to hold gold that makes sense, if you're going to trade it intraday, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, you can do something like GLD. But if you want to hold it as insurance, as what you might call schmuck insurance or insurance against the whole system collapsing, it doesn't make any sense to hold it in a bank or to have counterparty risk as you do with GLD. You want to actually have those gold coins or physical gold in your possession. So Pax Gold is really no better than a gold ETF, except for the fact that it can be traded 24/7, presumably on a crypto exchange, and it settles more quickly. It has instant settlement, whereas GLD will take 2 or 3 days.
You've had it since March last year. That's interesting, Netskis. I don't think you've brought it up before. And why not? Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you say, hey, man? I haven't done a lot of crypto streams anyway. Fair enough. I'm always interested in learning, though. It's the first time hearing about it. Hey, it makes sense that there's a crypto equivalent that's pegged to the gold bar, right? That makes sense to me. Just like it makes sense, and I know Dale won't want to hear this, but it makes sense that there's a cryptocurrency that does the time deposit, the term deposit. It's called Hex, right? It makes sense that exists. If you can go to a bank and open up an account and make a term deposit in fiat currency, it makes sense that there is a cryptocurrency that does the same thing. Taxation is a type of theft from the government, takes your money by force, gives it out to many who don't deserve it, then take credit for helping. It's up 1,500. Oh, wow. So you're up. You're in the green. Cool, man. Well, that sounds like it's been a good investment for you, dude. So you own some Pax Gold. It's in your like MetaMask or something. It's Ethereum. So you just see. What do you see? What does it look like? Like what's the token like? So can you ever go and just go? Can you ever go to the Brinks vault and say, "I'll take the gold now. You can take my Ethereum." How does it work? Is it? I guess you've just got an NFT, right? You've got something in your wallet that represents the gold that's in the Brinks vault. Is that? Am I thinking about it correctly? It's essentially an NFT. You've got a token that sits in your MetaMask or in any Ethereum-based wallet, and it's pointing towards, but it's custodial. Do you have to have a special wallet from the Brinks vault? It's in Exodus like any other. Interesting. I mean, I can see why you might have bought it, and congrats on the pamp. But what made you buy it? Like, what was the decision? Like, how did you? I guess the obvious answer is because it's pegged to the gold bar, right? The gold bullion. Yeah, okay. I mean, it seems to be working for you. Yeah, I mean, congrats. I don't know, like. So, I mean, it's a net positive for the crypto industry because you're dealing with Ethereum, right? So you're spending gas to transact on it. So It's good for the Ethereum price. I'm like I said, I've never heard of it, but here we are learning. Cool.
To settle. So it's no better than a gold ETF. If you're day trading gold, I'm not sure this is the best use of the app.
So the reason this guy doesn't like it, this channel, is because it's custodial essentially, which is why it's a strange one, isn't it? Because it's custodial, but it's only custodial in the sense that the value, because you own your private keys to your Exodus wallet, so you're not giving that away, but the value of it is custodial because the gold could be taken away. The thing that it's pegged to can be taken away, which is no different to a stable coin as well. Right? Am I getting that bit right? A stable coin is pegged to the dollar typically, and it's 1 for 1. But if they take the dollar away, you still have the stable coin, but the value is now not the dollar. It's something less. So this would be the same situation. They say you can get the physical gold with the token. Well, I mean, I don't know much about it, but it sounds like it's all stored in one vault. What is the Brinks vault, by the way? What is the Brinks vault? They said that. So Brinks, what is the Brinks vault? Brinks cash vaults manage the security and forecasting and processing of your cash, including storage, inventory management, counting. It's a vault in a specific area in Macau. Okay. Is Brinks still in business? Fuck, you want to hope so. It's one of the oldest commercial brands in the world. Brinks has been synonymous with security and trust. So it's only a matter of time before they go belly up. Sorry to be so pessimistic, but when I see it's one of the oldest banks, it's like, yeah, okay, so its time is drawing very, very close. Dalesky, I bought a couple of ounces of gold, approximately 1,700 an ounce. So it's nearly doubled. It's that 3,000. Right. You'll hold it long term? So Dale, let me look, I'm not trying to be all like old school, but have you ever thought about like going out and mining it, panning it and stuff? Because people are still finding gold in, go to TikTok and search it up, man. People are panning that shit in creeks and rivers. I guess you're right. If gold went down, you lose your shirt. Yeah. Brinks has a very good reputation. I did not know about Brinks, so I'm pretty stoked to be learning about this whole situation here.
I said it's not very volatile, so the only real reason to trade, to hold gold is to hold it as schmuck insurance, and to
mining is a
as
fool's dream.
A bearer asset. So Pax Gold, the fact that you can trade it more quickly than GLD doesn't really make a lot of sense. They're much better trading vehicles that have more volatility and more momentum. So PaxG is no better than a gold ETF, but it actually gets worse because if you own Pax Gold, you also have exposure to the Ethereum network. As I said, Pax Gold is an ERC20 token, which means it's built on Ethereum. And the problem with this is you have exposure to Vitalik, you have exposure to Infura, you have exposure to Amazon Web Services. You can shut down the Ethereum network by basically making one phone call to Infura and another phone call to AWS, Amazon Web Services.
Wait. Is that because the Ethereum network nodes are hosted on Amazon Web Services? Is that what he's saying? So he's saying he's saying right now the Ethereum network is also the issue. Most gold miners go bankrupt. It's expensive. Only the medium, big miners. But people are still finding gold in rivers and stuff.
Phone call to Infura.
Is that what he's saying here? He's saying that the problem with this is that it's on the Ethereum chain, and Ethereum inherently is sketchy.
You can shut down the Ethereum network by basically making one phone call to Infura.
But wouldn't that mean every single ERC20 is therefore screwed?
And another phone call to AWS, Amazon Web Services. We can see that whenever Infura goes down, it causes huge problems in the Ethereum infrastructure. So let's assume that we have this financial collapse and there's some government intervention they tell Amazon Web Services and Infura to turn off Ethereum, you're going to have a huge problem. So in many ways, this makes it even worse than holding a gold ETF. But again, you have that same government intervention risk, and you can have the government putting a lot of pressure on Joe Lubin and Vitalik.
I mean, I'm not trying to be whatever, but this guy seems like a little bit of a doomsdayer, right? Like, oh, you could argue then, well, dude, if all shit goes to hell, they could kill electricity and then no one can do anything. Someone owns the mineral rights, so they take most of what you mine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Turn off.
I'll just trust you on that.
Turn off Infura, and to turn off, you could also make a call to Amazon Web Services. This is why I compared Pax Gold to a horse-drawn car. People who you could understand with new technologies why they're slow to give up the former way of doing things, but it doesn't make any sense to have a horse-drawn car. The whole point of a car is that it's an autonomous vehicle, and you don't need a living animal to pull it. So I hear this a lot, especially from people over the age of 50, which includes myself. But these people will say, oh, I'll only trust a crypto that's backed by real things like the US dollar. Of course, the US dollar is a highly manipulated...
Got a split, Dugsky? Going to see Brian Adams. Hey, nice one. You better run. I'm going to run to you. Have a good time, dude. See ya.
Politicized currency, but they'll say, I'll only trust a crypto that's backed by real things like the US dollar, by gold, by crude oil, etc. But I think this misses the whole point of the Bitcoin revolution. And companies like Paxos, they try to capitalize on this misunderstanding. Paxos Gold is basically like a car manufacturer who sells you a car and a horse because they can make more money. Whereas what only makes sense is to actually sell you a car once you understand the whole point of a car. So Pax Gold misses the whole point of the Bitcoin revolution. Of course, they're getting paid to miss this point and to sell Pax Gold to people. But the whole point of the Bitcoin revolution is that Bitcoin is a digital native asset. It doesn't need to be backed by a scarce commodity. And if you really understand gold and why it has value because it has very low inflation rate. It's very hard to mine more gold even with high gold prices. And as such, it has a very high stock to flow, which is another way of saying that gold is valuable because it is physically scarce. Bitcoin in the same way is valuable because it is digitally scarce.
Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? And this, yeah, thanks, Dale. Yeah, this is interesting. This goes back to what I was saying before. Bitcoin, his point there, Bitcoin is valuable because it is digitally scarce. So what I was saying earlier, I did listen to that Roger Ver book, Hijacking Bitcoin. And I don't know if you were in the chat at the time, Dale, but what I was saying, it was educational to me to hear someone speak about how Bitcoin, and I'm not talking so much about the asset, I'm talking about the tech. Bitcoin, the code, the underlying code can be swapped and changed with very little. So there's the Bitcoin core dev team, and those are the guys that control the network, and they can change the network, and they have done in the past. He indicated two separate times where there was inflation bugs that had been found in the code. At one point, someone found, they call it a white hack, the good guy, right? The guy found it and said, "Hey, this is a bug in your code that I can actually go in and just mint any amount of Bitcoin I like right now for free. Just do it by using the code." And so they had to go back and roll the chain back and correct it. And so when I hear that, it makes you wonder, right? Because you always hear the conversation about there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, you know? Hey Siri, how many people on Earth?
In 2023, the population of Earth was 8 billion and 28,504,258.
There's 8 billion people on Earth, and there's 21 million Bitcoin ever. I've heard people say that. They're like, think about that. Not everyone can buy it, but there's not an infinite supply. It's going to run out. But not according to hijacking Bitcoin. The code can be changed and rewritten. They call it spaghetti code. It's all been built on top of each other. It keeps packing on more and more and more. It's all a big mishmash. So when they say Bitcoin is valuable because it's digitally scarce, it is, but isn't that only until it's not? And so when I heard that, I was like, ooh, so what is an example of crypto that, and you're going to hate this, Dale, immutable code, right? Cannot be changed. Once it's written, once it's been implemented, once the code is running, cannot be changed. That's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be changed. Hex, on the other hand, immutable. Contract exists. You choose to interact with it. It cannot be changed. It doesn't matter what happens around it. It still functions as it's intended. Whereas Bitcoin, as the white paper indicated, that's not how it can move from that at the consensus of these core dev team. I'd highly encourage anybody to listen to Hijacking Bitcoin. It frightened me. When I listened to that, I was like, oh shit. How come this isn't spoken of more? This guy, Roger Ver, he talks deeply about it. He's like, this is how it happened. This is how it exists. These are the core dev team that are doing this, and they can change it, and they have changed it. So if he was comparing it to the original source white paper, and he said these are the changes that have happened since that white paper. So he said it's not the vision of this mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto cobber. That's not what we wound up with. It was for a while, but it's not now. And so if you take that even further forward, what's going to happen? If it can be changed as easily as it has been, what will happen down the line? I don't know. I'm just saying, and I'm not changing my approach, but I definitely did sit up and go, ooh, that means any immutable code that's out there is far more valuable, or should be far more valuable. And I am using hex as an illustration, but it doesn't have to be hex. It can be anything, any smart contract that is doing something that gives you a value, and that cannot be changed in terms of how it works, how it operates. Doesn't matter who owns it, doesn't matter who's in place, doesn't matter who the team is, it's already running. I genuinely like that better, and I feel more content with that than something that can be changed if enough people want it to be changed. And he was saying the 21 million, that can be changed. That can be changed. I was like, fuck, what? It'd take there'd be a lot of people discussing it, but it can be changed. What bugs have been yet to be found? 2 inflation bugs, dude. 2 inflation bugs. Let me do a search here. Bitcoin inflation bugs. There's been 2. Specifically, the bug was related to how Bitcoin nodes handle the validation of duplicates inputs, so the double spend. An anonymous developer discovered the inflation bug and reported it to Bitcoin Core's security team, who identified it as a serious vulnerability that could have compromised the entire Bitcoin network. There's one undiscovered bugs in Bitcoin code, and so the main concern here is not that this existed. The real main concern is that they went in and changed the code. That should be pretty alarming, right? Like, the fact that the bug existed might not be such an issue, but the fact that they could go in and then just change out the code and fix it, to me, that's frightening, because the whole concept of it is that the code, it's law, right? It's there. So if they can keep changing it, that's no different to money at that point. And that's coming from a very limited understanding of it. Like, I've only been here since 2020 or whatever. I'm so new to this, and I thought it was Satoshi Nakamoto made this thing and gave it to the world, and then did a Harry Houdini and disappeared, and we now have it. That's what I thought it was. It doesn't look that way. It looks like there's this wonderful code. It's running fine right now, but there are examples of when it fucked up and they fixed it. What's saying they can't fix it again later when anything pops up? Maybe the idea of 21 million limited supply was a silly idea. Maybe they'll vote enough to say, unless Satoshi Nakamoto comes and says why 21 mil, we're changing it to 42 mil. The world 21 mil was good when it was just for just as a value proposition, but now we're using it for transactions and blah blah blah. So now we doubled it to 42 mil because there's more people involved. I'm just saying, right? That would suck. That would suck. Maybe it's time to cash out to USDC. Netsky, have you not listened to us? USDC? Then they crash the dollar and I'm sure it lasts. Dick Hart takes credit even though it wasn't him. I like that point. I'll hit that in a second. 2 found so far, could be more. Could be. What about Litecoin? I don't know much about that. I think Satoshi was actually a team, a small group, not one person. They don't know. Yeah. Netskis, I thought that was going to be the new way to transact when I first bought. So the idea of it being digital gold that came later, right? The idea of having transactions was what it was for, right? The money, the internet money, the money of the internet. So you can transact online with not having to go and physically use money. That's what it was for originally. So this idea that it's now a store of value or a digital gold, that came later. And I think, and I'm just going on what I heard in this book, but the reason it's the narrative and the concept has kind of shifted is because that idea of using it as a transaction method, that's failed, right? This concept of paying with Bitcoin failed miserably. You got high processing fees, slow processing times, scarcity, no one using it. So why would imagine you bought a coffee and you wanted to pay with Bitcoin and it took 7 to 8 minutes for the transaction to process, and in the time that happened the value of Bitcoin changed dramatically, and so suddenly now instead of paying $3.50 or whatever it is, you're now paying $12.80 for the same coffee just because the transaction took so long to process, and the valuation of Bitcoin, because it's global, it varied so quickly and so drastically that now, well, bad luck. Scared the absolute shit out of me. Fuck. Thank you, Dale. Scared the fucking shit out of me. Remind me to get rid of that alert. Damn, dude. That absolutely scared the shit out of me. Way to ruin my train of thought. Man, I was on a rant there too. You got me right when I was deep, man. Damn. Someone clip that shit and then remove that lightning. That noise, for those that don't know, that lightning, the graphic is just a generic PNG, but that noise is the frame, that's the audio from the lightning strike that almost killed me. Check it on my YouTube channel. So that's the literal audio. That might be why it scared me so much that time, because I had no idea it was coming, like I did when I was driving, had no idea it was about to happen, and it got so close to me, and that was like right in my headspace. That alert is awesome. No, it's not. But I saw your question. Any more lag buffering issues? No. I'm not 100% certain, but I think I know what all that was. I'm 85% certain it was because I had a whole bunch of shit open, which is disappointing because I used to be able to open up everything with this M1 Max. But I don't know, I think we had the standalone version of Stream Ninja and I had all the other tabs for the chats open and I had Discord open. I don't know. I've got a plan though. Next time we do a call in, we'll see, because we've now got this set up perfectly. Also, I forgot to tell you this. Oh, and then, by the way, just quickly, I'm only using the standalone version of the app, so of the Social Ninja chat, and so also I I found out that the internet service provider, the ISP that I use, had changed their plans, and this is baffling to me, but fantastic. They brought in a new plan that is cheaper and a faster upload speed. So I swapped the internet to pay less and get a higher upload. I was like, shit, yeah. So I think I'm on 100 down and 50 up now. 100 down, 50 up. Before it was 200 down and 20 up. Now I'm on 50 up. And so what that means is I can increase my bandwidth output on OBS, just give it more headway. I don't know if that was a reason that it might have been stuttering, but we'll see. Oh, dude. You're not going to get me twice. You're not getting me twice. Not a chance. No way, dude. Not a chance, you fucker.
And it's the only truly neutral.
Don't do that again.
Don't do that
asset.
again.
You have all these other cryptocurrencies.
You know, the other thing too, the way I've got my system set up, those alerts are just a little too high in my Kansas. But I think I need to keep it like that so I'm always alert to it.
They tend not to be neutral or decentralized. They tend to be controlled by insiders like Vitalik Buterin or Charles Hoskinson.
Yeah, nice one. Netskis, they only work on Kick. You have to be in the Kick chat for those to work. Now, wouldn't that be rad if we could somehow get them to work across all chats?
Or the Ripple company in the case of XRP.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
Had this immaculate conception. It's not run by its founder anymore.
The look on your face that first time, dude, that was frightening as all shit. That's the first alert today. We've been streaming for 1.5 hours, and you timed that. I know it wasn't. I mean, it was intentional when you typed it, but you didn't know that it would get right on the nose, right when I was deep in a very important, what I thought was a very important point. You nailed it.
It's not run by oligarchs who get to change the monetary policy whenever they want. It is like a digital commodity, a digital bearer asset.
By the way, I've completely lost all the tone of this video we're watching. I realize he doesn't like Pax Gold and he doesn't like Ethereum. I get all that, but I'm still a little bit on edge here.
And Bitcoin stands on its own as such, as a store of value, just like a car stands on its own. You don't need to back Bitcoin with gold because Bitcoin is digital gold. In the same way, a car does not need a horse.
See, when someone says that, when a creator says Bitcoin is digital gold, that's not what it was invented for, though. The white paper does not mention anything about digital gold. This idea of digital gold came later, and it only came because the white paper, the concept of Bitcoin, has failed. This transaction thing, it failed. So now the narrative is it's a store of value, digital gold. That's not in the white paper though. You guys have to listen to this book. I'll tell you, man. Get it, dudes. Get this. Hijacking Bitcoin. If you listen to this, you'll come back to me and go, shit, man, let's sell. Get out of here. You gotta get onto this, dudes. Get this. I'm putting this in the chat. I'm putting this in the which chat? I'll put it in the what? Can I post it in the? How do I post in the StreamYards chat? In the Stream Ninja chat? Is there a chat I don't know. I'll just post it in the. I'll post it in the Beam chat. I don't know how to post in the Stream Ninja chat. Can you post in the Stream Ninja chat? Where's Flowski when we need him? I'm going to post it in the Beam chat. Here it is. That'll come up everywhere. Yeah, get that. Oh, but wait, but hang on. That means you've got to go to the Beam chat to get that link, doesn't it? There he is, Flowski. How you doing, man? You had to do that. That's the way you choose to come in. It's good in Beam. It means you've got to go back to Beam though to grab it. That's all. So I'll just read this out. Bitcoin, get out of there. Bitcoin was promised to be a liberating tech, a free market alternative to state-controlled money, but that promise was broken after a small group of insiders took over the project and fundamentally changed Bitcoin's design. Few people know the true history of Bitcoin and its original design due to years of heavy censorship, social media engineering, and tight informational controls. Hijacking Bitcoin destroys the most popular narratives that surround Bitcoin and sets the historical record straight. Roger Ver's passion and pain came through as he tells the story of the beloved project corrupted in front of his eyes. Written by one of the most prominent figures in cryptocurrency history, the book is impossible to ignore. I'm just saying, if you read that or if you listen to that audiobook,
This is sick.
That's what they said at the start. This is sick. You will come back and you will say, I don't know if we should be in this, dude. It's very fresh in my mind. What I heard in that book is very fresh, and it's frightening. You can send a message with SocialStream to go out to all platforms. How do you do that, Flowski? I'm glad you're here to tell me that. I'll put the SocialStream over here so we can all seize it. How do you do that, man? How does one do that? Little icon box at the bottom of the panel. Okay. Bottom of the panel. Bottom of the panel. Here's the panel. Little icon box at the bottom of the panel. No. Session options, import, export. Not sure on the app. I'm thinking the chat panel for the extension. Oh, okay. Never tried on the app. Okay. I mean, it's got to be here somewhere, right? Don't know. Make chat input the full menu bar. If the toolbar is accessible, it's a little blue icon. Oh, right, dude. No, I know what you mean. Here, on the actual chat. Gotcha. Like that. Oh. I did it there, but it only came up in Beam and Twitch. That's interesting. I found it, but it only came up in Beam and Twitch. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. But it did only pop up there in Beam and Twitch. That's all right.
Because a car uses the internal combustion engine and uses fossil fuels, or in the case of electric cars, uses batteries, uses electricity to run. So Bitcoin does not need to be backed by shiny
use the hole,
yellow rocks.
bridge
The
the
whole
hole,
point of
or
Bitcoin
fill the hole.
is to move
Gotta
beyond
fill that hole. Who did that? Dalesky. Bridge the hole, fill the hole, or use the hole.
the gold.
Might be one of those option toggles. I forget half of them because there's so many to hunt through. Yeah. There is. It's working perfectly now for what I need. It's perfectly.
Gold standard, which basically failed because gold has to be held in a very centralized manner because it's very difficult.
Perfect.
The fiat standard, and we want something better than that. We want something where everyone can hold their own Bitcoin as a bearer asset.
Hey, would you guys like it if I set up an alert that allowed you to bring up like an all-encompassing fail? So like, do you remember that time when I was live at Tattoo's place when Marty and I were staying at Tattoo's and I did a live stream and then there was like a catastrophic fail and there was a graphic. I think I've still got the graphic. Hang on, let me just see if I've got it handy. It would be under kick. Let me just see. I don't think I have it anymore. I can find it, but I don't think I've got it. I haven't got it handy. But there was a oh wait, no, it'd be under live. Hang on. There was a time that the HDMI cable just popped out or something and it just gave this static screen and I screen grabbed it and it would be something that you could use. Do I have it here? I don't have it here. I don't have it handy to show you. But it would be something that you could use if you wanted to, and it would come up over everything for a moment. I love your alerts, Dale. There's a bunch of new ones in there too. And that way, when you trigger that, I could trigger it from here. Be pretty silly to do it. Be pretty annoying. That one should only be like a 2 or 3 second one though. I don't know.
They don't need to keep it in bank vaults, and they don't need to trust a company like the Paxos Trust Company.
Oh my God! Look, yep, this is very.
This is something that
not
the young.
Awesome.
This is very not awesome. Can you believe he said that? This is very not awesome.
Generations instinctively understand. For example, my kids understand that Robux, they have their own value. Now, it's not an exact comparison because Robux are really a utility token that you can use to play Roblox games. But the younger generations, they're not interested in shiny yellow rocks. They're interested in digital assets. And as such, there's really only one truly neutral, truly decentralized digital asset, and that is Bitcoin. It doesn't need to be backed by anything. And I think the younger generations instinctively understand this. And as such, gold will face huge demographic headwinds as the younger generations inherit their parents' and grandparents' gold. They'll be highly tempted to sell it and convert it to digital assets like Bitcoin. And as such, this gives Bitcoin some real tailwinds, and it gives gold, physical gold, headwinds. So as such, Paxos, PaxG, Pax Gold really is the worst of both worlds. It's like a car that's being pulled by a horse. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification.
We found that very helpful. Very helpful. So on consolidation, Pax Gold is for old conservative people. It's for all the old bastards. By the way, I just went into the party and just checked. I didn't activate that source. I beg your pardon. Precipitation. And there it is. There's the party chat. I didn't activate it. My bad. Okay, so I've got to make sure that's active as I sign in. Auto activate on startup. My bad. I don't know why. Yeah. Now the chat on Parto should come through. Hopefully it doesn't all come rushing through like it did there. Yes. So we were going to look into what was the next thing we had lined up here. Someone else. Goldbacks. The truth about Goldbacks. Comtech, you wanted us to learn about Goldbacks. Goldbacks? This is a channel called Goshen Prepping, debunking the myths about Goldback. The perfect way to stockpile gold. Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to Goshen Prepping. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about Goldbacks. And what I want you to understand, there are plenty of myths and misconceptions out there about Goldbacks, saying that, well, they're problematic and it's not the best, honestly, non-fiat currency as far as precious metals to keep. I think it's the best. I mean, I still have like constitutional silver, other things too. But I love the fact that Goldbacks are denominational.
So Florida Goldbacks, is that where this is from? Daleskis? Florida? Flowrider? Each note has a gold leaf. Is that right?
I can actually take them out and trade them. There's an actual market based on them, based on the gold market, not some fiat currency. All right, so some different myths. The first myth is you can't take this gold back and actually extract the gold.
So hold on. This is a physical note that is assigned a value based upon what gold is worth. Okay. A tangible physical piece of paper like currency, but it's pegged to gold. The second link you showed was titled Florida Goldbacks. I just assumed that the new Florida Goldback has a secret. We'll check that next then, huh? That note is covered in gold leaf. Is it just meant to look like gold though? It might not be real gold.
Of course you can. So let's go ahead and do a quick experiment. Let's use my beaker. We'll drop the gold back right in here. And you know what? I'll just use my little torch lighter. It's just a lighter, mind you, and catch it on fire. I know, it just breaks your heart watching this little baby burn away. And that smoke, by the way, do not inhale that. Any type of plastics and stuff, really bad news. But what you're seeing is like the PVC plastics burning off, allowing the gold to remain. And although in my little experiment it was not a complete job, I was able to extract all the gold, but there's still a little bit of like charcoal plastics and everything with it. If I had a crucible and if I had like a blowtorch, for example, I could do it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you wouldn't want to do this. There's no reason to do this because the Goldback in its form, in my opinion, is perfect. Why would you?
Why is he holding it like that? No one holds cash. I don't have any cash. I don't have any physical cash. I haven't been using this at all. I've stopped using my wallet. It's been in that drawer forever. He's holding it weird though.
Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute, why that's basically something you don't want to do anyway. But anyways, the myth out there is you can't extract the gold. Of course you can extract the gold. It's very easy. And the second myth is this. This specific Goldback is for South Dakota. You can only use it in South Dakota. That's not true at all. There are certain states that literally make it so you can use Goldbacks as legal tender.
I've never, ever heard of this. Flosky, I imagine if you fold and bend it a bunch, it would break the gold and get ugly, maybe even lose its value. Interesting. But its value is pegged to the gold bullion.
Outstanding. Not all the states. And I'm sure there's more coming. You know what I'm saying? But either way, I'm not in South Dakota. I'm in Michigan. I can still use the Goldback. It's not legal for current trade, currency, for example. It may be coming my state someday, but it is good for trading and bartering because this is actually based on specific amounts of gold and what the gold market's at. So you go to a yard sale, you go to a mom and pop store, etc. They very well may take Goldbacks, even though it may not be a legal tender. In other words, it's not an illegal tender. It's just not been authorized to be a legal tender in the state. There's a bunch of states it is. Michigan's not one right now, and you may be in a state that's not one right now either. That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. You can still take it and use it to buy, barter, and trade and stuff. Secondly, it's
kind of like a baseball card. You got to treat it nice. Right. Okay. I can get around that.
When it comes to buying gold, people say all the time, oh my gosh, as far as I haven't checked the Goldback price recently. It was getting close to $5. And when you actually look at this amount of gold in there, it's really only worth, as far as the gold goes, like $250. We'll just go ahead and use those nice round numbers, okay? This Goldback one is worth $5 on the market, but the amount of gold is $250. We'll just make up.
That's weird. So one Goldback is worth about $5.
There's some similarities.
Excellent timing. There's some similarities.
Those numbers and say that's how it is. People try to claim that's actually paying over a premium or over a spot. And that's not what's happening at all. That's completely different. Let me give you an example. If you go into a gold dealer or even go online and you try to buy some gold and you try to buy $5 in actual gold, how about $100? I want $100 in gold. They're not going to sell you that gold for $100. They're going to sell you that gold for like $110. That's the premium over spot what we're talking about.
That's the network fee, right? By the way, just out of curiosity, Dale, what you just said, when you do that, when you buy gold online, what actually happens? Do they physically send it to you? Like how does the transaction settle? Do you get like something in its place and then the gold arrives? Example, gold coins have a value way beyond the physical gold content. Yeah. They do? I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know that. And they're dealer fees, right? Like network fees. I did not know that, Dale. I thought gold's value was the gold in the coin itself. Right. Interesting.
So when you take it home,
Comtech, when I bought gold, they sent me the actual gold coins. So Comtech, do you get a little certificate saying, here's the proof of your purchase and now we'll ship it to you? I guess what I'm wondering is, has it ever been known that someone's bought gold that it hasn't arrived? When you sell, you get the market value. It's way less. The market value of gold. So for example, I have a $5 gold piece. The gold is worth maybe $700. The coin is worth many times that. I'm lost. You have a $5 gold piece, but it's worth $700. So don't you have a $700 gold piece then? But because it's a coin, it's worth more? It's gold though. It's a physical thing. That's a good question. Always buy from a reliable dealer. Yeah, yeah. I'm a little lost on the technicalities here. So if you physically buy gold and you do it online, they send you. Let's say I buy $100 worth of gold. They're sending me $100 worth of gold, but it's worth more if it's in a coin form. That doesn't make sense. The spot price is what they will give you when you sell. If an old coin's over 100-year-old minted and rare, the price printed on the coin is $5, right, Dale? Way back then, that was probably its... Of course. So there is a physical denomination included on the coin. Gold bars and coins are different commodities. So, okay, I understand that, and that makes sense. So physically, if you bought a gold bar, you're buying the weight of the gold. Yeah, you're buying the value of that gold based on its weight. Comtech, if you want to buy $100 of gold, you buy it for maybe 110 for the new coins, for example. But would you buy, if you, let's just say someone like me, a no coiner, a no golder, if I wanted to buy $100 of gold, would you say, well, then you should buy $100 worth of bullion, or you should buy two $50 gold coins? For maximum return on investment, would it be better to buy the bullion or to buy the coin from 2025 that's valued at $50 each? Am I understanding that correct? And if you could get an older coin, like from say let's say from 1997, that'd be worth more, even though it's got $50 written on it, it'd be worth more. Now you're getting it? Okay, the coins cost more up front. Depends on your plan. Yeah. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was like you're buying you're buying the physical gold and it's costing you how much it weighs, because the old saying, you're worth your weight in gold, like literally where it comes from. It depends. The coins have a specific weight. Yes. So a coin is worth more if it's heavier. And if you can only get circular coins. They don't have square coins. The square coins are the bars. They're called bullion. Just go mining with Pioneer Paulie next time he goes to New Zealand. He finds thousands of dollars worth of scuba diving in the rivers. Yeah. That's cool. Purity point, 999 is pure. Therefore, a specific price for the ounce at the time. Most coins are 0.999. Yeah, it's interesting. It's I've just got my head around crypto and now you're going to hit me with this gold shit? I don't know what to think. I'll go back to what I said earlier. I think I like the digital assets more. I like the idea of just looking into a wallet and going, refresh. I don't like to think about how much is that worth how much is my crypto in my portfolio worth if I weigh it? Coins have a collectible value. Bullion is bullion, but spot price dictates the price. Yeah, that makes sense. Coins have a collectible value. Bullion is bullion, but spot price dictates that price. Yeah. Yep. There's a novelty in the Goldbacks. Okay, so this is okay. So now I'm getting it. I think.
I have that gold coin here. Here's just a roll of tape close enough. Here's my gold coin, and it's worth $100. Wait, I paid $110 for it. So you go back to that gold dealer or whatever it is and say, I want to trade this in, and I want my $110 back. They will laugh. No. They'll say, how about this? I'll give you $90 for it. Because there's a rumor going around. This rumor is very, very true, mind you, that the rumor is that gold dealers hate Goldbacks. Don't you ever buy? Of course they do. Because they...
Before he says it, who issues these Goldbacks? Novelty art? Art has a value all of its own. Right. By the way, just a heads up to this guy, you should never shoot a video with a wide angle lens that close, dude. Get a longer lens. It makes him look too big. Yeah, who issues these gold back?
They have one thing in mind: make a profit. And I'm not knocking gold dealers for that. That's their job. They buy and sell and deal in gold.
That's a good question, Flesky. How much value do those Goldbacks have? They're only pennies because there's so little gold in them. Yeah, if it's the value of the weight of the gold, then in this case, it's not the value of the weight. It's the number printed on it. There are 4 mints that make Goldbacks. Okay, 4 different mints in the States.
But the thing is, you're paying for it. I don't care what gold you buy, except for Goldback, mind you. You go in there, you buy that gold coin, I'll pay you $110 for it. When I sell it back to you, I'll give you $90 for it. What are you talking about? Not with the Goldback. You buy the Goldback, even though it's $250 worth of gold and worth $5 as far as the Goldback goes, you buy it for $5 and you take it back. Do they say, I'll only give you $4.50 for it or $4? No. I'll give you $5 back for it.
Daleski.
That's if we're talking about.
I have a bottle of Goldschlager, contains real gold leaf. If I peak,
specifically, the market hasn't changed. But
not how
as
it
we
works,
see gold
dude.
and silver on the rise, there's an excellent chance you'll buy this for $5 today. And tomorrow, metaphorically speaking, in the future, it may be worth 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or more. Because as we see a fiat currency, is the value of fiat currency going down because of inflation and such, the price of gold and Goldbacks goes up. But you're not paying any premium over spot. And that's
so this is a hedge against inflation, right? This is hedging against inflation, if I understand correctly.
actually what blows my mind, because you go to a gold dealer and you buy gold. I want to buy this $2,000 gold coin. They're more than $2,000 now. They'll sell it to you for like $2,200. And when you take it home, well, it's worth $2,000, but try to sell it back to that same dealer and they'll say, I'll give you like $1,900 for it, because they're in it for a profit. Again, not.
Do you know what's funny though? Like, just this idea of getting away from, like, hedging yourself against inflation by buying Goldbacks. And this is coming from a dum-dum, but you're still valuing it in fiat currency. Like, I know that's an inherent issue or an inherent parameter that you got to deal with, but you know, you're spending the currency that you're hedging against to get something that's not that currency, but that currency, in this case Goldbacks, is perceived and given a value back in the original currency, back in the fiat currency. They're talking about it as how much dollar value it's got. We're trying to get away from that, but yet you keep having to come back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost, it's like a dog eating its tail kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Or have I got that wrong? If this was like, and this goes for anything, but if there was a true hedge against inflation, it would be its own value, separate to the dollar. It would have nothing to do with fiat dollars. Right on, Comtech. If you're bartering, you set the value in eggs or whatever. Exactly. Yeah. So if you really, really want to get away from the government stealing all your money and inflation causing you to lose value, you should be looking at what else could we use, not something that has an inherent value in that old system. Just saying. You can't go to the moon without a rocket. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is valued against the dollar as well. Right on. Yeah. Flosky, I feel like there's no real way to spend gold on a daily basis unless you carry tiny crumbs of it. Every store has a super accurate scale. That's true. Yeah. You got to weigh it. Yeah. We're all making good points. I love these combos. I got to be honest. That's why I wanted to do a cryptocurrency stream today. I wanted to come out here and just fill my mind and embrace. I loved those early crypto streams that we were doing, and I'd come away from it with my head just packed with information. This one's been like that. It's just like constant learn. Yeah, cool. I'm enjoying this.
That's their job. So I guess the question is, and this is the last myth, the Goldbacks aren't worth it because it's only $250 worth of gold, but $5 for a Goldback, metaphorically speaking. That's a ripoff. That's not a ripoff. I want you to understand something. It's a concept that people don't get. When you buy a car, you know what? And I happen to have a brand new car right here. Okay, I got one of my kids' little Matchbox cars. That's a pretty sweet looking ride right there. You know, if this was real, it'd be kind of cool.
when Lambo. If you're Harry Potter, you hand over a huge handful of gold coins for card of candy. Bad exchange. Right. I haven't seen it. I tried to read those books and I was like, these are aimed at like a 9-year-old. Is that fair to say? I tried to read Harry Potter and I was like, this is not for adults. The world went mad for that shit though. I sat down and read it and I was like, this is aimed at like a 10-year-old boy. It's like, get out of here. Also, I don't like Minecraft.
And when you buy a car, let's say this car cost $100,000. So here's the problem with that. When you look at the Goldback, you pay $5 for it. It's only worth $250 for gold. When you buy that really sweet looking Lamborghini, $100,000, it only has, we'll just go ahead and make it up, $50,000 worth of metal in it, worth of parts, worth of plastic, worth all the...
I'm going to cut in here and say, hey, old mate, you're not making a very good comparison here because when you buy a $100,000... Who did that?
Wow.
Someone followed over on Kick. Thanks for the follow over there on the Kick skis. When you buy a vehicle, you're not just buying the metal, you're buying the labor and the tech and the design concept and all the individual characteristics of the vehicle. So that's not a very good comparison. Before he's even made it, I'm cutting in. I'm not into witchcraft. I don't think I could read the books, but I enjoyed the movies. Pass on the Harry Potter. Fair enough. The usefulness of the car is where he's going to go, you think? You think that's where he's going? And the brand name? Yeah. But let me take it back just in case he doesn't make that point.
Really sweet looking Lamborghini, $100,000, it only has, we'll just go ahead and make it up, $50,000 worth of metal in it, worth of parts, worth of plastic, worth all those different things to put in there. It's the raw materials. You're not buying the Goldback specifically just for the raw materials. There's engineering in this that makes it so you can't counterfeit it. That's the whole point. Because same thing when you talk about the gold markets. You go to that coin dealer.
Whoa. That's a pretty weak ass point, old mate. Is he saying the value of the Goldback is that you can't counterfeit it? I mean, you can't really counterfeit real currency, fiat currency either, you know? You got to have a pretty damn high-tech... That's not a very good point, sorry. Unless I heard it wrong. Is that what he said, though? Let's go back. I might have just got it all wrong.
This car cost $100,000. So here's the problem with that. When you look at the Goldback, you pay $5 for it. It's only worth $250 for gold. When you buy that really sweet looking Lamborghini, $100,000, it only has, we'll just go ahead and make it up, $50,000 worth of metal in it, worth of parts, worth of plastic, worth all those different things to put in there. It's the raw materials. You're not buying the Goldback specifically just for the raw materials. There's engineering in this that makes it so you can't counterfeit it. That's the whole point. Because
if that's his point, there's way more engineering in a motor vehicle. You should be using motor vehicles as a hedge against inflation then. Is that his, did I get that right? He's saying that there's ingenuity in the Goldback that means you can't counterfeit it. And that's why it's got its intrinsic value. But I'd give you $100,000 if someone could counterfeit one of those cars. Good luck. There's a hell of a lot of ingenuity and marketing and technology and brain, way more in a car, right? The art aspect of it's being ignored. Gold coins are considered art. That's not the point he's making, though, Dale. His point is that it can't be counterfeited. I feel like that's not a very convincing point. Unless I've got it all wrong, I'm going to take it back again. Unless I heard him wrong.
$1,000. So here's the problem with that. When you look at the Goldback, you pay $5 for it. It's only worth $250 for gold.
So he says you're paying more than what the actual amount of gold is it? Yeah, that's fair enough.
When you buy that really sweet looking Lamborghini, $100,000, it only has, we'll just go ahead and make it up, $50,000 worth of metal.
Yeah, so same thing. You paid more than the actual value of the thing. It's $50,000 worth of metal, but you paid $100. Same as the coin, the Goldback. You paid $5 for it. It's only worth $250. Yeah,
in it.
Get that?
Worth of parts, worth of plastic, worth all those different things to put in there. It's the raw materials.
So they're both the same at that point. So you're buying the raw materials.
You're not buying the Goldback specifically just for the raw materials. There's engineering in this that.
But you're not buying a car just for its raw materials either. You're buying the car for all of its engineering because it's going to get you from A to B. It's going to combust fuel. It's going to give energy. It's going to make you. It's going to transport you. So he's making this is a bad point he's making.
Makes it so you can't counterfeit it. That's the whole point. Because same thing when you talk about the gold markets, you go to that coin dealer and say, I want to buy that coin. He'll say, sure, here you go, sucker. I mean, sir. And there are, now listen to me, billions of dollars of fake gold on the market.
So you can counterfeit gold, but you can't counterfeit Goldbacks. Comtech, maybe a better way to say the technology to make the gold back you pay for, and you're paying for the tech to make it. I heard that point. I just didn't think comparing it to a motor vehicle was the greatest illustration of that. Art is being ignored. Lambos are art as well. Beautiful, useful engineering. Yeah. You get his point, Dale, but his point is that the Goldback has more intrinsic value than the vehicle. Is that what that's what he's saying, right? He's saying the Goldback is more valuable because of the ingenuity that goes into it to make it uncounterfeitable. Interesting.
Billions of dollars. In fact, China continuously pushes and sells fake gold to America. So when you're buying that gold from that gold dealer, that coin dealer, whatever.
He's making it poorly, but I get it. I think he's making his point pretty clear. I just don't get it. I just don't see his point. I can see what he's saying, but I just can't see how that gives one of them more value. I think that gives both of those items an incredible amount of value. And I would suggest the vehicle has more value because it's something that's useful. You can drive it, you know. You don't just buy it and park it. You actually go places. You see the world.
You may get a real one. You may not. Even if it's stamped and has a little official serial number on there, it doesn't matter. There's tons. The market is flooded with fake.
Now, Flowski comes in with a swinger. This is a good point. Vehicles depreciate, though, and they cost massive money to maintain. Yeah, okay. That's a very good point. Yeah. He should have made that point, though. If this guy wants us to get into Goldbacks, he should have hit that point. I saw a car sell for over $4 million last month. Classic car. I mean, yeah, true. Okay, that's counteracting Flowski's point, but the majority of vehicles depreciate. People are nuts. Some cars appreciate in value. I mean, yeah, my Delica, right? There's a good example. When I sold my Stevan, I sold it for more than I bought it for. That value of that vehicle went up because of COVID. Because of an infectious disease that covered the world, the value of my motor vehicle went up. Okay. I sold that thing for more than I bought it for. And then conversely, what did I say? Conversely, when I went to rebuy another one, Govan, I paid way more than it's worth. You know, I paid $19,000 for Govan, 19 grand. They advertised it for 21. If I sold Govan right now, I'd be lucky to get 10 or 11 grand for it. And it's way better what I've done to it. It's way better like setup with all the gear in it. Could probably get 11, 12 grand absolute max. I bought it for 19. There is a value in using it. Important value to most people beats walking. Yeah, I mean, some people can't walk, so there's a huge value to someone that's unable to walk that has a vehicle. Try riding a Goldback to the store. Ain't gonna happen.
Gold. This Goldback is real gold. Now, I showed you basically my little thing where I extracted the gold from there. I'll go ahead and challenge you. Go ahead and just Google it. There's some people who have the crucibles and the torches and the furnaces, and they extract the gold and measure it out and say, no, that's the real gold. That's actually the exact amount that's on there is the exact amount on there. And that's where the engineering comes in. So when you buy that really cool, expensive Lamborghini for
Whoa. What did he just say? He said some people are doing that little burn experiment and getting the full value out of it, but he didn't.
Just Google it. There's some people who have the crucibles and the torches and the furnaces, and they extract the gold and measure it out and say, no, that's the real gold. That's actually the exact amount that's on there is the exact amount on there. And that's where the engineering comes in.
But that's not what he just displayed that. He burnt his and he didn't get anywhere near that. So engineering only works on some of the Goldbacks, not all of them. Jeez. Flosky. By the way, Flosky, can I just say something just before I read your comment? I love how you've done this with the CSS on my big screen chat. I love how it fades in and comes up like that. It's soothing to the eye when a new chat comes in. I don't know if it's like that on screen. On my big chat though, it comes in so nicely. So thank you for the cascading style sheets. It's crazy to me how worthless mobile homes are compared to normal houses. I wish houses depreciated, to be honest. People who need them could afford them. Depreciating house market. Interesting point. It's the opposite, isn't it? They go up. Wishing doesn't alter reality. Dale comes in swinging. Shut up, Dale. Let's wish on a falling star.
So when you buy that really cool, expensive Lamborghini for $100,000,
and Flosky, there was a time when houses weren't an investment, but something you used. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's changed over the decades, hasn't it? Yeah, it's now houses are a store of value. They used to be protection from the wild to get you out of the elements. Now they're a store of value. I wish I was rich, young, healthy, famous dude. Reality says no.
I want you to understand that statistically speaking, 47% of the money into that car is the raw materials. I mean, maybe not a Lamborghini, but like your typical Chevy or Toyota, whatever. 47%. So if we're looking at a car that's $100,000, $47,000 of it is the raw materials. It's about how much? It's about half. Same thing with the Goldback. When you buy it for $5. About half of it is for the cost of the gold. About half.
I got to tell you, this argument he's making about the raw materials on both, this is not the way you should sell this. Definitely not. He's not selling this to me at all. Yeah, this is not working for me.
Half. You don't argue about that with your car. I don't know if you care if you're buying a new one or a Lamborghini or a used old kind of beater. I don't care. It's still, you're buying not the raw materials. You're not buying a giant chunk of metal that'll drive you nowhere. You buy the engineering, you buy the labor, you buy the raw materials,
right,
and now you get the car.
I'm glad he said that because he wasn't saying that before. Now he's coming around.
Even though only a small percentage of it is actually the car itself as far as like, being able to drive and stuff. 47% is the raw materials. 21% is actually going to come from the labor. So we're looking.
Yeah. Now he's making the opposite point. He's now saying that you're paying for a cumulative thing, the labor, the tech, the IP, all the stuff that goes to make that vehicle. And if he's going to argue that there's more intrinsic value in the Goldback than what all goes into making a motor vehicle, I think he's completely wrong.
At 70%, 60 to 70% of this, when you buy this car, we'll just go ahead and say 60% of that car is not the car itself. It's the raw materials, it's the labor, it's the engineering the car company puts in it. So what he's saying is correct, but that's got value, right? And we decide how much value that is, or what that value is in fiat, right? We determine how much value. Why is a Tesla motor vehicle expensive? Because it's got groundbreaking new technology. We determine that that's worth more than buying a $5,000 shitbox from 1984. There are better videos that explain the Goldback. Yeah, at least my PAX Gold has gone up right on Netsky's. But here's the difference. This is 50%. This is 60%, or 50% gold, and we're looking at 60% raw materials and such. Which are you going to buy? You take this and buy it off the lot. You buy it for $100,000. You take it back to the car dealership, and they'll say, "Yeah, I'll give you $90,000 for it." I just bought $100,000. I know. You buy the Goldback, take it off the lot, $5. Take it back that same day, $5. Oh, I got all my money back.
Dale, why is the US dollar the world standard in fiat? Many reasons, actually. I mean, isn't that kind of why crypto was invented, to get away from that? But then, as I said earlier, you always come back to it when it's time to cash it out. And same with Goldbacks, right? You'll always eventually come back to USD. Unless I've got the whole thing wrong, which might be the case.
But here's the thing. This will appreciate, this will depreciate, and therefore, I mean, nobody's going to buy a car.
But hang on, why will the goldback appreciate? If the value of gold depreciates, why will the value of the goldback only appreciate? The connection is quite intriguing, fiat and crypto. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a topic all of its own.
Well, not almost nobody, but people don't usually buy cars for investment purposes, but you buy your Buick or your Cadillac, whatever the case may be, and you do it for using it, and it's going to depreciate. Expecting
every store to accept 60,000 different cryptos and weird gold plastic things isn't very realistic. It's not at all. Yeah, 100%, dude. And look, this harks back to an earlier conversation. This is what is in that Hijacking Bitcoin book. Bitcoin in the white paper was designed for this purpose, was designed to be an exchange of wealth. But it failed. It failed miserably because high transaction fees, long processing times. So the story of Bitcoin, we're going to use it for digital transactions across the internet. Fail, complete fail. So then they changed the narrative to, well, it's a great store of value. It's digital gold. So and you've made the point, Flo, that it's not possible that they're going to accept other cryptocurrencies. They're all inherently the same. They're all got slow transaction fees. They all cost a lot. And the volatility of the base price of the actual asset, it's unrealistic that someone's going to do it, right? Ooh, Comptech comes in swinging back. Right at you. He says, expecting everyone to want a Lambo is unrealistic as well. Just saying. I mean, that's true. That's true. Look at us all learning economics and such with Professor Gibbs. I mean, this is not a conundrum that we're going to resolve right now or here, but true. But you cannot piece out the Lambo for small transactions. Yeah. So what's the solution then? I don't think goldbacks are the solution, and I don't think crypto's the solution. Damn.
But when you compare that with buying a gold coin, let me get my fake gold coin again. Here's a gold coin. When you buy this gold coin for $5, you try to take it back to the dealer, you're only going to get like $4.50 for it. You take this gold coin, metaphorically speaking, the gold back to the dealer, and you're going to get $5 back for it. But what happens is, as fiat currencies basically deflate in value, you have inflation, these will both increase. But the difference is this one has a premium over spot. This one does not. This one has engineering and raw materials put into it that makes it so you can't counterfeit it. You can't say that about the coins. So his whole point is that you can't counterfeit a goldback, so therefore it's more valuable.
Yo. Wow.
Thanks for that.
Lies the joy.
Thanks for the follow over on Kick. Who was that? Let me get my Kick chat out here. I didn't see a follow there. Ah, shit. Whoever followed, thank you. Elbaziz. Thank you, Elbaziz.
So goldbacks. Listen, I have all kinds of things I prepare for.
The solution, I'll tell you next stream. I have no steak. Money's too tight for steak. How about top ramen noodles?
Or crap hits the fan, or, bartering, including silver, including items. You can't eat gold.
Do you know what, man? Just on that top ramen, and Netsky, you might know what I'm talking about. When I was in New Zealand, I was actually eating at least one meal.
Smoke me a kippa. I'll be back for breakfast.
At least one meal of the week, I'd have ramen. It's not called ramen these ones were called ramen. I think there was a pretty decent one I had there in New Zealand from the Fresh Choice.
But I'll tell you, when it comes to trying to replace a fiat currency, which some states are doing, these are legal tender in some states. And there is no premium over spot. In fact, what I have found is all the goldbacks, every single goldback I've bought so far has increased in value. Unlike a lot of other stuff, as soon as you get off the lot, like that gold coin, it's already going to depreciate. It may be based on the market, but eventually it may come up high enough, immediately the goldback is worth more. So goldbacks are fantastic. And that's why personally, I have a whole wide array of different types of values.
50, 25. Vietnamese pho is delicious, similar to ramen. Okay. And you just put the boiling water in. Flowski, I bought a pack of ramen a couple of days ago just for old time's sake. Haven't frequented it since the college age. Look, it's one of those kind of things that, yeah, it's when money's too tight, it's a viable solution. I don't know. It's not that bad, right? Some of it's pretty decent. I don't know. We got one in Australia called 2 Minute Noodles, Maggie, and it's not that good, but there are better ones. Many Vietnamese restaurants there. Okay.
I literally have stacks of this stuff. It is fantastic for bartering. And as we're hitting the summer, I'm taking it out and bartering with people as far as yard sales. I'll show you some of that footage soon, by the way. Just, it's amazing. People love the idea. This whole garbage will tell you people it's not worth it. You can't extract the gold, all these things as far as, it's basically paying a premium. It's only for certain states. All that's not true at all.
I wonder.
Goldbacks, in my opinion, are the perfect thing to curb against fiat currency and inflation. Because we see our dollar collapsing. We've barely seen it collapse. Far more collapsing is coming. And the best way to be ready for that, simply put, is by having Goldbacks. So in the description below, click on Alpine Gold. There's lots of places to get it, by the way. Alpine Gold is where you want to go. And you just click on the link in the description and off you go. And it's free to set up an account. And you can go ahead and set it up as far as buying a bunch of them. But before it's too late, guys, because our currency is going to collapse. It cannot be sustained the way it's going now. You're going to have to curb against it. And Goldbacks are the
So is there a I'm just going to take a look at his description here. Purchase your Goldback through Alpine Gold. Let's just have a look at that. They look pretty cool, shiny and reflective, yeah. So what are we looking at here? Alpine Gold Exchange. Nevada Goldback set with the brown wallet. New Hampshire Goldback set with a brown wallet. South Dakota. These are all different states. half Florida Goldback. One Florida Goldback is worth $5.74. 2 is worth $11. 5 is worth $28. 10 is worth $57. You got 100. It's certainly intriguing. Here's a 50 Wyoming Goldback. Ah, shit. Didn't mean to do that. Where'd my mouse go? Here.
This is sick.
This is sick. Says here, these Wyoming Goldback foil notes contain 1/20th of an ounce of 999 fine gold, which is the first local voluntary currency to be made of a spendable, beautiful physical gold. I'll be worried they get stolen or destroyed. I mean, me too. Added to cart. $8 in shipping? Are you fucking kidding me? $8 to send it? Now, hold on a second. Let's go back and go back to Goldbacks and get the cheapest one and see if it's $8 to get a half Florida. View cart.
Yo, 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 yo. Wow. And therein lies the joy.
Hey, thanks for the follow there over on Kick Machine. So this Florida Goldback Alpha is worth $2.87 to buy, and it's going to cost you $8 to ship it. No shit. So the value of this is less than the value of shipping. You should be hedging against inflation by buying a shipping company. It's going to cost you $10 in totes. Or if you need it overnight, it's going to cost you $62. Hey Siri, what's $62 US in Australian dollars?
$62 US is $97.58.
It's going to cost me $97 Australian to get this, to get half a Florida Goldback overnight. Shipping to Utah. shipping to Utah. Yo, David over on YouTube. How you doing, man? Thanks for the follow. Thanks for subbing, David. That's a YouTube alert. Shit. Thanks, dude. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot. Okay, so like I said earlier, if you're gonna get in on this, you're still I know it's a hedge against inflation. I understand that, but you're still needing the dollar to make it happen. Like, you still need fiat currency to get this together, to get it to you, right? It's still going to cost you, obviously, right? It's still going to cost you money. And so if I was to bring this together, or if I was to wrap this up, I would say Goldbacks, if I was to counteract or counter-argue against what he was saying in that video, I would say that Goldbacks are equally as useful as any other cryptocurrency, because it's not true, because they're pinged to the gold standard. So all of this value comes from gold being worth something. Gold is worth X amount of dollars, and we determine that. There seems like there's less volatility in these Goldbacks. In all of the crypto sphere, there is more volatility and there is more fluctuations, both up and down, in price. If you're looking to prepare, I mean, he's a prepper, right? These guys. If you're looking for the doomsday thing and you want to store your value because of The Walking Dead, whatever, right? You're ready for that. You got your bunker and everything. Then you want to physically hold these Goldbacks. I get that. But if you're looking for potentially a shorter term play, you might be better off just investing in some crypto of some sorts. Not necessarily Bitcoin, could be anything, right? Anything that's traded and well liked, like a meme coin or something, right? Like a anything that's pumping for all the right reasons. That's my take on it. I don't know. I could be wrong here. And when Flowski said he'd be worried if they got stolen or destroyed, I mean, yeah, like I don't like having to, when I use my phone to tap to pay, it's super convenient to just go and you've paid. In Australia, I don't know if it's the same in the States. In Australia, you cannot withdraw money, like physical cash, from an ATM with your phone. You still need to use the card, which is perplexing. You can tap to pay everywhere, but you can't tap to withdraw. At least with ANZ Bank, I don't know if it's every other bank, but so I still need to have this, which is basically my credit card stuck to the back of my phone, and I bring that with me when I need to. And there's some things I need physical cash for, and when I do, that's how it's done. I take that with me, and then I take the card out and go to the bank and make the withdrawal. I like cryptocurrency because it's just this. I don't like the Goldback because it's a tangible thing that I know I would lose. Flowski, make your own construction paper with glued on glitter and hand-drawn smiley face on them. Gibbs note. I think in the future, Comtech, all crypto will be measured against gold, the gold standard that used to be used long ago. Ooh. That's a bold statement. You might be right, but wouldn't that give That would give Goldbacks an incredible value, though. Just saying. Dalesky, gold plus art divided by engineering equals value. Gold plus art divided by engineering. Everything is worth what someone will give for you. That makes sense, Gibbs. Thank you, Comptech. It's been a weird way to get to this point. I don't really like the convenience fully because they'll eventually use it to control people. Inevitable, like the social credit in China. Yeah. Look at Comtech getting all bold on us all. I don't know about that China thing, like that social network or the social scoring in China. I mean, we're going down a rabbit hole which we don't have the time to go into right now, but the idea of the government putting a stop to your funding and your finances like the Canadians did.
Hello there.
Hello there. Yo, Charles, how you doing, man? Yeah, the idea of the government being able to do that is pretty damn frightening. Yeah, I feel like we can't open that can of worms right now, but yeah, look, Flowski, you're right. You and I have the same thoughts. The truckers, the Canadians. Yeah. It seems like they did it. They did it. You know, as lousy as that is, they did that. They stopped banks from allowing certain people to transact with their own finances. That happened. And it was in Canada. I mean, you wouldn't expect it from, oh, Canada. It did, though. That's frightening, you know? That guy should be... yeah, that's really, really frightening. I mean, it happens to a lesser degree here. I mean, there is, like, you go to a bank. I guess someone I know recently had to withdraw or send money from one bank to another, and it was quite a substantial amount. It's like $100,000, and you couldn't just log into your bank online into two banks and just send it. They made us ring them and like alert them to it and say what we're doing it for and where it's going, and then there was an increase amount. Like, you couldn't just say, well, I want to send 100,000 of my account to this bank. They're like, no, you can only do this amount unless you send us this information and we'll up it. It's like, the fuck are you talking about? This is the only, and it wasn't my money, the only reason that this money is in this bank is because I put it there. And now I want it out. And they're like, no, you can't. You got to jump through hoops. What are you talking about? Give me my fucking money and shut your mouth. We did not give you the permission to be the one to control what I do with my money. And again, not my money, someone else. This is just the scenario as it played out. I was there because I was helping the process. And eventually, yeah, after jumping through hoops, then you can get your money. It's like, dude, what are you doing? How did that ever happen? Where it's like your money, but we control how you spend it or what you do with it. That seems like something went really, really wrong for that to ever get to that point. And Canada is a great example, man. That's like I said, we definitely can't go into that tonight. If everyone ran on the banks, there'd be no money to hand out. It's all fake for them. I mean, yeah, like I mean, like do you know what frustrated me when I went to New Zealand? I had to open an account. I remember this super clearly. When I went into ANZ in Queenstown, the only reason I went there was because my job with nzski.com, Trojan Holdings is the parent company. Trojan Holdings will only pay your wages into a local bank account. I already have a bank account. I've got savings account. I've got a mortgage in Australia. Funnily enough, ANZ was the bank, Australia New Zealand Banking Corporation. Yet this is not the point I'm trying to make, but this was a side point. When you go to New Zealand, ANZ isn't the same bank. It's the same bank, but it's not the same bank. ANZ, Australia New Zealand Banking Corporation, ANZ. When you get to New Zealand, they're like, no, we're separate to Australia. It's like, what are you talking about? You're literally the same entity. It's in the name, Australia New Zealand Bank, right? And they're like, no, you can't use that account. You have to get a New Zealand one. I'm like, all right. And I remember being in that bank in Queenstown, and the guy was like, so here's the forms you got to fill in. And I had to sit down with a pen and write down reasons for wanting to open the account. I had to write down things like expected usage of account, how much money, like how many transactions in, how many transactions out. And I'm like, oh my God, I only need this because that business I'm going to be working for, they will only pay into a local account, even though it means nothing to them to be able to pay me into my existing Australian account, which is also the ANZ, funnily enough. So now, if I could show it, I won't. Well, I can show it to you, I guess. I won't open my accounts, but I'll show you this. Where is it? I've put it on the second page. Yeah, here. So if you look on my banking, I've got one account here for Australia, and then you go to the second page, and down here is the New Zealand one. I'm like, and I haven't downloaded it since I haven't been in New Zealand. I stopped using it. But so there's two separate ANZ accounts. It's the same fucking banking corporation, but one's for New Zealand, one's for Australia. I was just like, and I remember saying to the guy, dude, I could, like, as soon as I quit this job, I'm never using this bank account again. They made me get all these forms. I had to go and get a bill. Had to bug my housemates to get a bill. Had to do all this shit. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way for this. And this is just for the business I worked for, Trojan Holdings, to be able to pay me money. So now that I've got that account, I'm not letting it, like I left money in it. I'm like, yeah, there's $5 in there. I'm leaving it. That reminds me, okay, my theory of now that I've got the bank account set up in New Zealand, I should always keep it so that I can never go back there, or whenever I go back, I can use it. But let me tell you a side story. In 1998, I went over to England and I lived over there for a while. And I got a job and I worked, and I got a Midland bank account. Midland is the banking corporation. And again, same thing, back then it was like, yeah, you need a bank account. Yeah, you need it. Cool, fair enough. And I opened up the account, got paid. I was working for Skoda. That was funny. Anyway, everything was cool. When I left England, I kept that account with £5 British pound in the account. And my theory was, I'll just keep that open forever and compound the interest, and I'll be able to use it. I went into the account the other day. Wait, not Midland. It's HSBC. I still got I don't have it handy. It wasn't Midland. It was the Midland branch. It's HSBC, but it was Midland, I think. Anyway, I went back in. This is about a year or two ago. I remember digging through some old paperwork, and I was like, I might just check out how much is in that Midland. Do you know when it was? It was yonks ago. It was about 8 years ago, because it was on a Tracer tour. When we were in the UK, I was like, I'm going to check into my Midland. I still had the card. I still had the PIN number, everything. I'm going to go and just check. And it was not recognized. I put my card into a ATM, and it was like, PIN number. And I was like, yep. And it's like, not recognized. And I'm like, the fuck is this? So then when I got back home, I investigated. Do you know what they did? They closed my account. So that account that was fully functional, and it was being paid into and withdrawn for basic living needs when I was living there, because I didn't use it for a period of time, they removed the £5. I don't know where it went, but they took it and they closed the account. And they had been sending notices to like snail mail, like physical mail, to the place I was living at, which was my sister's place. She'd long since left. I'd long since left. So someone was getting mail for Benon Julius William Otto Kirpsch from HSBC Bank saying, if you don't do this by this date, you lose the £5 and we close the account. And there would have been interest in it by then as well. I was like, I rang them. I was like, hey, I'm just trying to check in. And I had my sorting code and my all the numbers. I've got it. I've still got the bit of paper where it's all on. And I rang them and I asked them about it, and they're like, yeah, looking back on our records, Mr. Benon, we closed that account due to inactivity. I was like, you did what? So let me get this right. I've got to bend over backwards and I've got to prove my identity and I've got to show you all these documents just to get this thing open. And then if I don't use it for X amount of days, you can just close it without any signing. Like I didn't sign anything, right? And by the way, what about the money? That's only £5. What if it was £500? What if it was 5,000? What if it was 500,000 quid? What would happen then? I'm sure if I did the same thing with 500,000 quid, there's no fucking way that telephone conversation wouldn't end with, get me my fucking money. But because it's £5, they're like, nah, it's gone. Forget about it, dude. You can't even get a bag of snakes for that, right? They'd be like, nah, it's gone. So the lesson there is bank accounts don't last forever. The bank can do what they want with it. In this case, HSBC, a big player in the banking world, they just went, we're keeping it. Bad luck. What they should have done, when I rang them back years later, they should have said, now, sir, we do see you had an account. We did close it. Are you wanting to reactivate it? We've got the previous or the last statement. So we'll reactivate and we'll credit the £5. You won't be getting any compound interest because the bank account's been closed for 10, 15 years, whatever it is, but you will get the £5 and a new account. That's what they should have done. They didn't know. They're like, no, bad luck, dude. It's gone. Fucking hell. Yeah, incredible. And I look, that's not any lie. And by the way, that reminds me, I should periodically check into my ANZ New Zealand bank because there is money in there. Maybe I should just send money into it and then send it back out every 7 months or something just to make sure. I don't know. That's fraud and theft. I mean, it's probably in their terms. It's probably written there. They're like, if the account has been inactive for X amount of days, we reserve the right to take it. Flowski, it sounds like D-Love getting rid of all my clips, then bringing it back half-baked 1 year later, but none of our old clips are there. They might have sent the money to the address. I mean, dude, if you're the new tenant living there and you saw and you kept seeing from HSBC, I don't know, would you eventually open it? I don't know. Like, but that only makes sense for a small amount of money, £5. But like I said, if it was 500,000 quid, would they send that through the mail? Probably not. I'd sue their ass for £5. A bag of snakes. I hate how the legal system costs so much money, so you need to have a win of millions to make it worth fighting for. Yeah. Put it in an interest-bearing account on the NZ one. I believe it is, dude. i.e. a savings account. I mean, it's an account that I was being paid into for my wages. Yeah. Fun times though. Let me remind you too, I asked to do this crypto stream tonight. I wanted to do this. My head is blown, but I did want to do this. So thank you all for doing it with me. I'm down for this. I'm down to do this whenever you lot are. Let me just be honest. Of course, we can also have call-ins whenever you guys want, but I'm definitely down for this.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm going to go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.